Last we left off, as I recall, and I do recall perfectly, Veltari, Johann, and Perrin decided to take it upon themselves to completely massacre the last two residents of Devonshire. Then they fucked off and are now heading to Deadwood. They left a note for Hale and Sarkesh, who we're going to presume just found it, and caught up with them at Oliviar as they all make their way to the north. Johann did some stuff. Vel got mad at Johann. Everyone was kind of high for a bit, except for Vel. That was fun for her. And, yeah. Everyone's basically just really good friends, happy, traveling together. No inter-party strife at all, and, Johann and Perrin, since I think you guys have the two highest wisdoms, you notice that when Hale and Sarkesh catch up to you at Oliviar, there is a very faint smell of horse wafting on the wind. And yeah, we'll just start off. If you guys need to buy anything or whatever, you can. Otherwise, we're just gonna get you all the way to Deadwood as soon as possible.
Wouldn't it be bovine?
No.
Did we switch to centaurs?
No.
Okay. Alright. Smell that, Perrin?
Guess the only thing I would want to do is maybe get more rations.
You could do it.
I don't really feel the need to roleplay that, though, if you just want to...
No, you just tell me. You guys just tell me if there's anything you want to buy, and I will tell you what it costs, and we will do the transaction.
Okay. Buy 7 rations?
Done deal. It costs what it costs in the book, which I believe is like a couple silver, or maybe it's copper, I don't really remember. 5 silver. Per. So, deduct that, and you're good.
Health potions.
Do you have 50 gold? Because I'm pretty sure they're 50 gold.
God, no thank you. I will use lay on hands.
Yeah. Potion of healing, 50 gold pieces. Good luck, buddy. Anybody else?
Is there anywhere can I exchange some gold for some silver?
Yeah, pretty much anywhere. Any trade goods will let you do that.
Okay, so it's irrelevant. I can just go ahead and do that then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much any banker or general mercantile store will allow you guys to switch whatever you have, like gold to silver to whatever. Which you should probably do, because a lot of establishments won't take gold pieces because it's way above what they charge for things. And they don't have the money to give you for change.
Okay.
Every gold equals 10 silver?
Yep.
Everything's
Silver,
10
10
except for
copper.
Electrum.
Yeah.
Or Electrum.
So... And...
Anyone else have anything they want to buy? Or sell? No? Okay.
I'm gonna... How many of the peaches would I have eaten on the way to Oliviar? All of them? Most of them?
How much did he give you? In poundage?
8 pounds?
Well, if you ate only peaches, you would be at about 4 pounds now.
Okay, I'm gonna donate those 4 pounds to whomever, so...
Okay. You find
I
a
don't know
temple.
what's in Oliviar, so...
Yeah, you find a temple and you donate it. As you do. You gracious and kind monk, you.
Yeah.
Wandering troubadour. Whatever.
When I'm not murdering people.
Yeah.
Items that we collected a while back.
What now?
Do any of us still have those gems we collected a while back? because
they
I
in
don't
your
remember
inventory?
selling them.
Are they in anyone's inventory?
I don't
I'm
have
guessing we
any
just left them then.
gems.
I didn't pick any of them up, so
I don't have anything in there.
Because
The
unless
only kinda
otherwise stated.
Trophy thing I have is the Auric Shaman Dagger.
Yeah, and I've got his journal and the witch's journal, so it's the only stuff I've
collecting
got.
journals you can't read.
Fuck you! I would have found something out if it weren't for somebody.
Maybe you should be better at interrogating people.
Fuck off.
I attempt to interrogate. She's dead now. All in all, I'd say good day. Alright, so I take it you guys are just gonna go ahead and move on to Deadwood. Sarkash feeling really sad that all the gems were just left behind for some reason. As you do. Ba-ba-ba-bum. Let me open up all
Oh.
the things. Yeah?
I have a map to Deadwood, right? That I got from the governor's mansion or mayor's mansion, whatever he
Yes.
was. Okay.
Even though there is a single road that you have to take. Yes, you do have a map.
On that map, are there any military outposts?
No, not until you actually get to Deadwood.
Okay. Good enough.
Oliviar doesn't have anything and nothing in the plains. There's no reason to have an outpost in the plains. So, yeah, not
Okay.
until you actually get to Deadwood would you find any military, anything really.
All right. Then I have no need to ask any of the townspeople.
So we're good? Everybody just moving on?
The other thing I want to do is sell my crossbow and my 20 bolts.
Okay. That'll be a gold for the arrows.
For all of them? Okay. Because I have 20 of them.
Yeah.
That makes a
Nice.
difference.
It's
Okay.
a gold for all 20.
Okay.
Not 20 gold. And then it's a normal light crossbow, correct?
Yeah.
Roll persuasion for me. 'Cause that's kind of a high-end piece of equipment for a small town.
Persuasion? No.
You can't justify going above 18 gold. It's not that wealthy of a town.
Hmm. A town this small, would they be able to silver weapons or no?
If you provided the silver, their blacksmith might be able to do it.
Might just hold on to the crossbow then.
Okay.
But I do want to get rid of the bolts. I don't really use the damn thing.
Yeah.
And
So
just
you
wait.
get
'Cause-
1 gold for all the bolts, and then keep your crossbow. Yay!
Works for me. Just drop 30 pounds.
For 20 bolts?
They were
1.5 pounds
each.
apiece?
Yeah.
Or were they
Unless
solid
it was
steel
What
entered
are
in
those
correct.
made of?
No, crossbow
Uh,
bolts are 1.5 pound a piece. In total, not a piece.
Was it?
Yeah, for 20 bolts, it's 1.5 pounds.
And thus solves the mystery of why Roger was so heavy. An
Pretty much.
extra 45 pounds.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's real good.
I just got rid of all of them.
Roger now weighs -7 pounds.
I wish. No, I'm still 122 on this guy. Alright, I think that's all I want to do, because got plenty of rations in case we can't find food. And yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So, as you are all back together, is there any particular way you guys are taking watch?
Uh,
I'll
Guess it
take
usually-
second watch.
usually makes sense for me to sleep first and then
Yeah.
just.
Say I'll take
Watch
first
everyone.
watch while Perrin rests. Unless anyone wants to switch out with me, I don't see much need for
I
anyone
can
else to.
take first watch.
Okay. So, regardless of that, you all make it to Deadwood fine. Nothing much
Oh.
happens.
Yay.
How nice. How nice for you. As you approach the bottom of
How
the
many
Black
rations,
Mountains,
or did Roger
It's-
successfully find food?
well, he could successfully find food. You guys are traveling kind of next to a forest the entire way up. You're not in the plains really yet. So he could find food for you all.
Okay.
Actually, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. That's 5 hours of foraging. Yeah, no, he could find food and it wouldn't slow your travel pace for everybody.
Okay.
So 0 rations. Everybody's still got food. So you make your way towards the bottom of the Black Mountains. You see well-worn stone battlements that are quite striking as you make your way towards the city of Deadwood. A impressively tall wall made of colossal chunks of refined stone, scarred and marked with old burns and deep gouges. As you approach, you see a gatehouse with a gigantic closed steel gate, and steam rises from the top of the gate. And from even a quarter of a mile out, you can smell the very kind of it's very a distinct smell of burning sand. As you get closer, you see a tall, sturdy-looking human woman clad in leather and steel armor, holding the head of some foul creature, with its long snout and sharp jutting teeth nearly reaching the ground along her leg. She yells up to the guardsman, "God damn it, Davin! Be quick about it and let me in. I'm gonna miss the beheadings." The guard wearily retorts, "We're going as fast as we can, Miss Alana." But she doesn't seem very amused, and you can hear as he kind of heads towards the gatehouse, very loud, ratcheting clanks, just like a ch-ch-ch-ch-thung, ch-ch-ch-ch-thung, and the gates slowly begin to open in front of you. She just kind of stares impatiently at the gates until you approach within about 30 feet of her, in which case she kind of turns around very quickly and sizes all of you up, but pays you no mind, really.
Okay.
The gates open, and she very quickly, as soon as they're open, large enough for her body and the trophy she's carrying, she just darts into the gates and disappears into the city beyond. The gates open up wide enough for foot travel for you to get yourselves and your horses through. The guard looks down. You down there. Who are you and what do you want with Deadwood?"
We're traveling. We're going to Nanara. Where are we heading? I forget.
Come on, spit it out. What's your business in Deadwood?
Passing through on our way to Calum.
Ah. Very well. Don't make a nuisance of yourself. And with that, the gates come to a rest, about a quarter of the way open, but it's a good 10-foot gap, only being that open.
I make my way inward.
All right. Upon entering the town, you see a very large main street that leads you towards what you assume to be the city center. There are just massive marble statues lining the street in remembrance to the city's past heroes, as well as a bunch of shops and tradesmen of all sorts. This is the most thriving and bustling town you've seen since Skirth.
Okay.
Yeah, you would make the estimate that it's probably a couple of thousand people that either live or live near this settlement. There seems to be quite a large commotion going on in the city center, which is maybe a quarter to a half a mile down this long kind of thoroughfare.
Right. And that's roughly the direction that Alana ran off in?
Mhm.
Or did I not see?
Well, you saw her duck behind the gates.
Okay.
And she just kind of went down the road as far as you could see.
Alright. I'll head in that direction.
Alright. As you come to the city center, you find a large square with a gallows made up in the center. Further to your north is the main castle and garrison of the city, looming it's actually kind of risen onto the mountain itself, perched behind it. There's a throng of people all surrounding these gallows, filling the square to capacity. The shops all around, like, as you kind of walked through the city, none of the shops had that many people in it. Like, you only ever saw maybe one or two people, probably the patrons of the stores. And now you kind of understand why, because apparently whatever's going on, it's pretty important.
I try and make my way closer so I can see.
Okay. What are the rest of you guys doing?
I'm probably more likely following. Yeah, I'd probably be following Johan.
I'm trying to find the nearest inn.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to get a vantage point without ending up in a massive crowd.
Okay. Yeah, you can.
I'm gonna
you can
follow Johan as well.
Vel, you can
guys doing with
find
the
like,
horses.
kind of a tree, like an embankment, basically, with a tree that you kind of half climb up to be step back away from the crowd. You're kind of where a lot of the like children are, who don't want to like just be in the center of tall people and not be able to see anything. Sarkesh takes the horses to the inn, as you would do, to tie them off, to tether them.
Yes.
Hold on a second, let me... Which one is it? I think it's this one. Which one has the name of the inn? Oh god! You walk by a couple of places, Sarkesh, and there is the Black Stag Tavern and Inn and the Bristleback Inn are the two kind of like main hotels of the area that you can see on the main kind of thoroughfare.
Oh, I'll just go to the one to the right.
Okay. You head into the tavern/inn and are met by a human, and then there's this kind of like half-elf maid that's just running around cleaning everything, and he welcomes you graciously. Hello, sir. You seem to be new in town. Do you need a place to stay? Food? Drink?
Yes, I'd like a place, but I'd like to get a warm bath as soon as possible.
Yes, of course, sir. Is there anything else I can do for you? Like I said, our wine and meat is very good if you'd like some of that.
I currently still have a bottle of my home ale. My home drink. I'd rather finish it before drinking anything else.
Very good, sir, very good. Would you like your own room, or do you just want to sleep in the common room?
I would like my own room, yes.
Very good, very good. That'll be 2 silver pieces, sir.
I hand him 2 silver and ask him if I could leave the horses outside.
Yes, of course. Just tether them, and I'm sure they'll be fine.
All right, I go outside and tether the horses, then head up to my room.
Okay. He informs you as you head up to the room that his daughter will draw up the warm water for your bath.
I thank him and just,
all that happens.
yep, that's all.
All right. The dog in the corner of the tavern approves as you make your way up. So back to the city center. Johann, Hal, Perrin, Vel. Perrin, Hal, and Johann, go ahead and make a perception test for me.
Change your name.
Change your name! Alright. You see three women that are kind of dressed in rough spun clothing, with nooses around their necks, and one Lakir woman who's wearing this very kind of beautiful plate armor that's etched and gilded in very fine, like, gold and inset jade. Go ahead and make another perception test for me. Vel, you can also make a perception test on this one.
You cut out really bad.
Yeah.
Do what?
Perception
who are you
test,
talking to?
please. Everybody except for Sarkesh.
Okay.
Okay. Hale. Even you look at the Lakir woman for just a moment, and then something seemed really odd to you about the 3 women with the nooses around their neck. And as you look back, you notice that their eyes have been plucked out, their ears have been torn off, and there is black blood running slightly from their mouths. Johann, you kind of take the Lakir woman's plate. You've never seen plate quite like this. It seems very unencumbering and light, and you realize that the gilding isn't all for show. There's strange emblems and what you assume to be scripts written into her armor itself. You're not quite sure what it means, but it leaves you very intrigued.
Okay.
She begins to address the entire crowd. People, long have we lived in fear of these foul creatures. For months they have stolen your children, and we have delivered them unto you. No longer will this coven hunt these mountains and prey upon you poor folk. I invite those that have lost children, those that have lost husbands, and those that have lost wives to come upon the gallows and send these last 3 to the hells. And with that, a kind of push forward comes from the whole mob, and you see about a half a dozen people get up onto the gallows, and as they do, the woman just hands them a torch, and very quickly, with a flick of her wrist, it alights. And they all kind of stand behind these 3 very sodden, dejected figures. She looks back out to the crowd. Long live Deadwood, long live the North, and long live the witchery. And the entire mob's like, yeah, long live the witchery. And with that, all of the townsfolk that have come up onto the gallows strike these women, and they immediately alight into flame. And shrieking howl completely deafens the mob. You can tell that they're still screaming and chanting and shouting, but you can't hear it at all. All you can hear is this blood-curdling howl. And just as soon as it begins, you see the woman in plate pull a lever, and the three bodies drop, their necks snap, and the howl ends. The mob, still kind of whipped up into a frenzy, continues cheering and watching for the next few minutes, and then eventually begins to break up and depart.
Who remains as the mob breaks up?
There's a couple of most of the people that were on the gallows kind of stay and just watch until the lady in plate goes by and chops all the burned rope away, so the bodies fall to the ground. Two men, which you assume to probably be undertakers, come with barrels to get pull the bodies up. And some of the citizenry just kind of remains standing around. But by this point, most of them have begun to depart.
All right. Is there anything to prevent me from getting closer to the stage?
No.
Okay.
No, there's no barrier or guards or anything.
All right. Then yeah, I'm going to approach, but not directly approach anyone up there for at least a moment.
Okay. Yeah, you
I'm
get
gonna follow it.
the two of you, probably Perrin as well, get closer to the stage. You can hear some kind of muttered discussion about those witches getting what they deserved, and that they hope that all the disappearances will no longer plague the town and such.
Is that muttering from multiple people, or
Yeah,
like
this is just like
a
the
couple
general.
walking?
This is just the general consensus of the people all around you.
Okay. Can I stop a person who, walking by who says something to the effect of "they got what they deserved"?
Sure.
Okay. Man or woman? Does not matter.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. Pardon me, sir.
Yes?
I'm just passing through Deadwood. We just arrived not but 10 minutes ago. What's going on here?
Well, a lot of children have been going missing for the last 6 months. And the witchery's been tracking down these missings, and they finally dealt with it. Seems it was a coven of witches up in the mountains. These
I
three
see.
are the last, and the last of them. Or so we hope.
Do you have any more information on these witches, or perhaps the lady on stage? Who is she? Is she one of the hunters?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Yes, of course. That's Lady Miria Rocha. She's the leader of the witchery. A band of sellsword witch and fiend hunters in these parts. She's the one who led the investigation. She's the one who knows. I just know what she told me, or knows what she told us.
Perfect. Thank you for your information.
Yes. And he just kind of nods solemnly and then goes about his business.
All right. In that case, I would like to. By the way, how do you spell her name?
Ba-ba-ba-bum. Oh god, I just switched my name. I'm not Veltari, I'm sorry. There you
All right. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to attempt to approach her.
go. Okay. You approach her after a few minutes. She's obviously, she goes around and kind of comforts all the people and takes the torches back, and starts kind of getting people off of the gallows. Which you only now notice seems to be kind of hastily erected This it seems like it was probably just built for this event. Like it's not a permanent fixture here.
Yeah.
And once everyone kind of starts coming off of the gallows, she eventually walks down, and you're able to catch her as she's getting down.
Okay. Lady Rocha.
Yes, who are a dryad? Who are
Yes.
you? What are you? What's your business in Deadwood? And you can see she's kind of very visually concerned.
Yeah. We're merely passing through on our way to Galem, but we noticed the event, and one of the passerbys in town informed me that there was a witch hunt going on over the last few months for missing children.
Yes, and I'm happy to say that it's concluded now.
Do you have any more information on these on the witches you were hunting? We've just come from Devonshire, and there was a witch there as well. I don't know if she was working alone or how many children she abducted, but the entire town has been wiped off the map by her presence.
She seems very visibly shocked at this, and immediately pulls out a small book from her inside of her chest piece and begins writing frantically in it, then shuts it. Devonshire, you said,
Yes.
and the witch was dealt with?
Yes. Unfortunately, she died before we could get much information out of her, but what little we do know is that she forced the innkeeper of Devonshire to systematically poison every resident of the town through her tavern until only she, the witch, and the mayor remained.
My God, that's horrific.
I was wondering if perhaps she was a part of this coven, but
No,
I suppose
that wasn't this coven's mode of operation. Modus operandi.
MO. Thing.
Yeah.
Were there any halfling witches in this coven?
No,
Or perhaps do you know anything of a coven of halfling witches?
no, I've not seen a halfling witch in quite some time. Most witches don't belong to covens. It was very rare to find such a outcropping of witches pouring forth from the Black Mountain.
I see. So this is just a coincidental double occurrence rather than two connected incidents, in your opinion?
It would appear so, but one can never be sure. I'll dispatch a team to Deadwood to ensure that the town is properly sanctified.
Yeah, I killed the farmer. Anyways. Well, you won't find much there, but... I suppose that's all the questioning I had. It's the only witch I've dealt with, so...
Well, if you have any more information on it, that would be much appreciated. And you say your group disposed of her?
Yes. I don't know. Are Hale and Perrin both standing beside me?
Yeah, they're both near you.
Okay. Well, I wasn't sure if Perrin had followed me up to the stage, so... Anyways. Yes. My cleric friend and, our Fiendkin ally, who is back in the crowd.
Her eyes dart, and as soon as they see Vel, you can see Perrin. You're actually probably the only one who notices this. You can visibly see her hand shift towards her sword for about like a half a second, and then she just kind of relaxes and goes back to listening to Johann.
Out of curiosity, can I overhear any of this?
You're up
No,
in a tree,
you're
like
you're really far
40
away.
yards away.
Okay, I was just curious how far I was.
Yeah, you're on the other. You're essentially like all the way across the courtyard from them.
Okay.
Between the three of us, we uncovered what we could before extinguishing her light.
There's no light to be found in witches, but I'm glad you did what you did. Perhaps you and your friends may like to join our band of brothers and sisters.
Perhaps temporarily, if you're headed in the right direction.
We go where the work takes us.
We're headed west, so perhaps we could join up for that time. In your dealings with witches, you wouldn't happen to be able to read anything they might have written in a journal or a diary, would you?
I could give it a chance. I know many languages, and I know of many people who can read many more.
If you could wait here just a moment, I'll go grab my companion. She has a journal we found in the witch's home that she can't seem to decipher.
She nods and just stands there.
All right. I run as quickly as I can through the crowd, or what's left of it, over to the tree to get Vel.
Okay.
Guess I'll stay talking to her.
Me too.
Have fun, you crazy kids.
I guess I'll turn to her and introduce myself formally. I am Perrin. As Johan pointed out, a cleric.
She kind of holds out her hand. I am Lady Rocha. It is good to meet a holy man.
I guess I'll kind of laugh at that comment. Holy. And then I'll kind of hold my acorn.
Okay. She finds you peculiar.
Good. I guess being a witch hunter, you probably use some interesting methods to fight witches.
Of course, they're quite clever beasts.
Do you have any kind of special techniques that you use to do so?
Holy water, holy oil, fire, and steel tend to work the best. Though, sometimes divine magic comes in handy against particularly powerful witches.
Divine magic? You're a mage, or...
No, but I have a few, shall we say, devout among us who harness the gods' power in order to smite evil. I was never so blessed. My skill comes from the sword.
So then you have clerics or paladins in your ranks?
Yes. Those who hate evil often find good compensation among the witchery.
Sounds like if we'll be working together, I'll find myself in good company.
Indeed you would. And she kind of like taps you on the shoulder.
You mean like this
Yeah,
kind of,
like-
or...
like
Okay.
Bump.
I was waiting for you to say something.
Nah, just like, yeah, bam. Sarkesh, at this time, you've finished your bath, and as you kind of put all your equipment and armor back on, there is a knock at your door.
I will be answering it.
A very old man and a couple of what appear to be city guards are at the door, and the old man kind of raises a shaking hand. Hello. I'm Maester Judic. The Lord would like to have a word with you, if that is all right, Sir Paladin.
It should be fine. I just finished a cleanse, so I should be ready.
Very good. If we could depart as soon as possible, that would be most appreciated, sir.
I'm just gonna follow because if I say anything else, racist comments are gonna come out.
Okay. He leads you out, and you start heading north towards the castle. Johann, you've gotten to Vel.
Okay. Hey, Vel, hop down from there.
Vel unceremoniously falls out of the tree.
Okay. How far would you say
There's
you fell?
upwards.
I don't know, not far. She made an attempt to get down. She's not very graceful.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. How ungracefully does she fall? Enough that I should make comment?
You noticed.
Absolutely.
Okay. Couldn't you have climbed down?
I was trying, if you couldn't see.
Oh. Good job. Anyways, there's someone over there who I want you to talk to. She might have more information on the journal we found. The diary. She can choose to follow or not.
I'm gonna follow.
Okay.
You are led back to the woman in plate armor, who still thinks that Perrin is peculiar.
Good.
The best.
The best.
Anyways.
I guess I'll
Ah.
introduce. This is Baltari, one of our traveling companions. She's the one that carries the witch's book.
Do you think that's
Baltari, if
wise?
you
We don't think it unwise.
Very well. May I see the journal? And she kind of holds her hand out.
Poe reaches into her bag, pulls out the journal and hands it to her and says, well, I'm the one who's holding it because I'm the one who's seeking knowledge, so...
She just kind of like stares at you for a second while opening the journal and then goes to reading. This appears to be an odd dialect of Infernal. I feel you should head to the lord of this land. And she stops speaking and looks kind of behind all of you. Ah, well. Johann, Perrin, Veltari, was it? May I introduce you to Grand Maester Judic and his associate. And with that, you turn around and you see kind of an old man, some guards, and Sirkash.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Sarkash.
What'd you do?
I don't know. I just got out of the bath and the Lord wanted to see me.
Judich or
Judoc.
DLC? Got it.
He is also a Lakir.
Thank you. Alright.
And he kind of looks at her. Ah, Lady Rocha, it is nice to see you. Yes, Maester, have a look at this. What do you make of it? And he takes the journal and opens it. Pulls out some spectacles from in his robes somewhere. Ah, yes, you do find such odd trinkets and wonders, lady. It seems to be infernal, of a Eastern dialect? Strange. Shall I look it over for you? And she just kind of nods. Very good. Right. That brings me to the rest of you. The Lord would most appreciate if you would all follow me. Not you, lady. Just the new ones. Johann, was it? And Perrin? And, you are Veltari. What is your name, lady?
I am Halasia.
Ah, Halasia, thank you. So if you would please accompany me with your associate, that would be very appreciated.
All right.
I assume we've done nothing wrong, correct?
Oh, no. The Lord has well, I think it's best I let the Lord... You're not in any trouble, at all. The Lord will want to tell you himself.
I nod and follow
Okay.
wherever he's going, so.
He begins leading you towards the castle in the distance. It's quite a large and sturdy castle, made of stone and metalworking, which none of you have ever actually seen the likes of it outside of Skirth. To anyone who's traveled the world, it is a very unusual sight. He explains to you like a kind of a brief history of the town. He tells you that there's a lot of shops and trade. He kind of hopes you beg pardon for he begs your pardon for the rather unceremonious and distasteful display that happened in the courtyard this day. And speaks a little bit about, the castle era and the lord that you're about to meet, whose name is Vasilis McKellick, which I will put in chat for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And his family goes back generations and generations, how they're the gatekeepers of the north, blah, 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 blah. Eventually, you guys make it into the castle era and into the main hall of the castle. You can see the king, obviously sitting in the largest and most ceremonious of the chairs, up on a bit of a raised platform. Around him is his family, and around them are retainers and servants that are going about whatever kind of clerical duties they have. As soon as you enter the hall, though, most all attention turns to you, and silence kind of befalls the room. You get about halfway down the hall, and the maester begs you stop, and he continues ahead. You're probably about 30 feet away from the Lord himself.
Okay.
He wanders over to the Lord and begins whispering something into the king's ear. And then there's more silence. And more silence.
I stand at attention.
And they're all Lakiers in this room, or
Most of them are human. The maester himself is a Lakir. There are some other... There's actually, besides dwarves and halflings, you note that there's a fairly wide among the servants and probably other kind of higher ups, a fairly diverse group of elf and humankind.
Oh. And the Lord himself is human then, or
Yes, the Lord himself is a human.
interesting?
The silence continues for a half a minute or so, and then finally the king rises to his feet. Hello, I am King Vasilis Makelik, Lord of the Era. It has come to my attention that you and your group have entered my lands today.
Yes, sir.
What business does such a peculiar group have in the hold?
We merely stop here before continuing westward to Calum.
He kind of looks over the entirety of the party. Well, it seems that you come at a fortuitous time. I have need of a group of adventurers such as yourself. Will you aid me?
Pray tell, what would you have us do, sir?
Perrin, go ahead and make a perception check. Anyone who has a passive perception of 14 or higher can make a perception check. Which I assume is just Perrin.
I believe so.
Really? All right.
Perrin, you notice as Johann asked that, the king looks slightly nervous and his eyes dart to his family and regents directly around him before he goes back. My maester will inform you in a moment. And he kind of brushes towards Judic, and Judic pops to attention and begins scurrying over towards all of you, looking a bit confused himself.
Okay.
We were
I-
informed that you would like to tell us yourself on our way in.
And he just kind of sits back down. Judic will handle the rest. I thank you.
Okay. Yes. Say thank you, your kingship, pal. And look at Judic.
Judic looks at you kind of nervously, turns and bows very low and deeply to the king, and then begins kind of like leading you through a doorway out of the hall.
Okay. I follow.
You go through a couple of corridors and eventually come to a kind of secluded room. Yes, well, a strange occurrence happened that I suppose the king finds it best not to divulge publicly yet. Well, one of the court mages was recently found dead at the Bristleback Inn. The mage was investigating the odd occurrences around the cemetery. None of the goods have been taken, but some bodies have gone missing. The graves dug up. We're not entirely sure what to think about it, but he was the mage in charge of investigating all of this.
The Lord seemed very nervous when he said that you would tell us about these things.
That seems odd.
How long ago was your mage killed, and by what means?
He died 2 nights ago, but we cannot find a cause of death. It seems he just died.
So natural causes, but you suspect foul play.
Yes, it would be quite odd for a what are they called? Favian. A Favian to die at the ripe old age of 120.
You had a Fathian here?
Yes.
Those are high elves, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you not notice the head mage and 2 of the other mages of the king's court are Favian? They were in the Great Hall.
No, I didn't take notice at all. It's rare to see so many gathered around such a small place. Though I suppose with the size of the city.
Yes, Deadwood is of quite some importance, especially to the elves of the Riven.
Well, yes, now that you mention it, it does seem odd for Fabian to perish so quickly.
Wait,
What would you
how
like
long
to-
ago did
2 days ago.
how long ago did he die? 2 days ago? Okay.
But how old did you say he was?
He was in his 120s.
Okay. Do they have the same age rate as
Yes.
other
all,
elves? Okay.
All elves have the same age rate.
Okay.
I asked, were
Except
there any
halves.
strange bruising or markings that seemed out of place?
No, his body seemed completely untouched and unmolested. He simply perished where he lay,
Where did he lie?
in the Bristleback Inn. And he kind of like looks through a small journal. Did I forget that? God. Bristleback Inn, 2 days ago. Nothing on there. Yeah, Bristleback Inn.
Other than
Did
the
he- Just a room
peculiarities
number?
of his death, was there any sign of struggle to get into the room?
It didn't appear so. But I wasn't there to see. You'd have to talk to the head of the guard.
Of course. So the king would like us to investigate this, but I suppose based on his manner in hushed tones.
Yes, I guess that is safe to assume. It seems the king doesn't wish this to be public knowledge yet.
While the identity might not be public knowledge, is the death?
No, no one outside of the head mage, yourselves, myself, the king, and the captain of the guard, no.
And why does he want us to investigate this? We've
I'm
only
guessing-
just entered his township
The city.
and met no more than 10 minutes ago.
My assumption is that you are the only ones he can trust.
It's not going to go well, but can I insight that?
You can. You feel kind of peculiar about what he says. Not so much what he says, because it does kind of make sense to you, but more so he just seems unconvinced himself of what he's saying. But you're not quite sure if he's lying or if he just doesn't know, and this is just the first thing his mind jumped to.
Okay. Well, if only a few of us know of the death, how do we begin the investigation without making it public knowledge.
Well, I assume your first step would be to talk to the owner of the Bristleback Inn? See if there was more information? Or the captain of the guard. He might know more than I. He did recover the body.
I suppose that's as good a place as any to start. I'm sorry, Sarkesh, you were speaking?
I was thinking one of us should at least take a look at the room to the inn. At least see if there were any signs of at least witchcraft or uses of necromancy.
I'm gonna make a suggestion. Johan, why don't you go talk to the innkeeper? Sarkesh, why don't you look at the room? If possible, I would like a look at the body.
I was going to ask the same thing.
Yes, that could be arranged.
And perhaps Perrin should go talk to the captain of the guard?
I think Perrin and I should switch roles.
Actually, I was thinking, where is Judic's body now, and are his personal effects with his body?
Judic is the guy we're talking to, isn't it?
Or,
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
Judic's the one you're talking
elf,
to.
sorry.
Uh,
Elf.
We
yes.
didn't actually get the guy's name, did we?
No, he hasn't said it yet.
Is that what you posted in chat?
No, that's the head of the guard.
That's the head of the guard.
Okay. Okay.
The mage, yes, he's in the sept, below. His personal effects are all with him, such that Dorison, the captain of the guard, recovered from the room, and well, we haven't touched his room here, so.
Okay. Do you by chance know if he kept like a journal or notes on his investigation of the graveyards?
I'm unaware. We
Do
recovered.
the other
no
mages
notes.
in the court know that he is dead?
Only the Archmage would know.
Would it be possible for me to obtain some investigation equipment from him?
What kind of equipment are you looking for?
If the mage was drinking anything, I want to be able to detect if it was poisoned. Some poisons don't leave any lasting effects. I won't be able to tell what type of poison it is, but I'll at least be able to tell it was poisoned.
Well, I looked over the body, and I'm quite adept at detecting poisons and medicines of any kind, and I didn't find anything, but if you would like an outside opinion, perhaps you can convince the Archmage, who is well versed in those sorts of things, to assist you.
It would be nice to have a second set of eyes.
Very good. Why can't I find his name? Is there anything else that you would need?
On my end, that should be it.
Did I ever get that journal back?
No, he's the guy we're
Not
talking
yet.
to
Okay.
has it. He's going to look over it.
Okay. Couldn't remember.
That's the High Mage's name.
How's it pronounced?
Dunakar. But, you know, Elvish and flowy,
Not Orcish.
not Orcish.
By the way, he mentioned that he was investigating something. He just said the graveyard, right? He didn't specify anything
Body's
beyond
going
that.
missing.
Bodies
Something.
going missing, but
That's right.
they were leaving behind, like,
Yeah, valuables. Just
Valuables.
taking.
you know,
Okay.
guess a good question to ask him would be, Judic, are the graves still being robbed?
I believe, I believe so, but I've not had any reports from the captain. You'd have to speak to him. It was his people that first, well, they were the first responders to it, and he would know more than I.
What about the grave robberies? Are those common knowledge amongst the public?
No, we've asked the morticians and undertakers to keep quiet about it, but I'm sure some rumor has spread about it.
Is the
Is there any
caretaker of the
consistency?
graveyard up at night?
I believe so.
I would like to ask him if he's seen anything. I'll do that later.
Okay.
Sorry,
Has there
continue.
been any consistency in the missing bodies?
None that I could discern. Some were children, some were infants, some were adult men and women, some were teenaged. There doesn't seem to be any rhyme nor reason to them.
How long
Does
ago
it-
would you say that started? Maybe
Weeks?
within the last 6 months?
Weeks?
Has there been a rise since the hunting of the Witch Coven?
Not that I've observed.
Alright.
How old were the graves that were dug up?
Varying ages.
No, he meant like
Not
how
the
fresh.
people. The age, how fresh were the graves? The people put in them.
That's what he's saying.
Ah,
In other words, they were all from different time.
Yeah. They weren't similar timed.
none of them were connected in any way. Family, bloodline.
Not that he could discern.
I want to ask another question just so I can get you to repeat that line.
Okay.
I don't have one.
Okay.
Okay, I'm heading to the inn and waiting for whoever's helping me talk to the innkeeper while I look at the room.
Well, gang, it looks like we have a mystery on our hands. Let's split up and search for clues.
I am so butthurt.
What?
From the Minotaurs?
Malaysia's Daphne.
Don't get to
That
be
fits.
friends.
No.
Unlike the Minotaurs.
Sarkesh doesn't want to talk about it.
As you shouldn't.
That's fair. Hide
They
your
were
shame.
not very gentle.
Anyways. You went and checked the room, right? You, okay.
So, Perrin, what are you up to?
I think I want to go to the the graveyards first,
Okay.
since
How?
it sounds like we're all splitting up and doing different things.
I'm waiting to be taken to the body with Vel.
Okay. And
Split the
Johan,
party.
where are you going?
I'm going to talk to the guard captain.
Okay. I'm gonna go turn on my light, and we'll get right back to that. It's getting dark. I don't like it.
Little loser. Fuck that guy.
Oh,
Alright, I'm
The
back.
shadow's
Hey.
eating you.
yes. Before I leave, Judic, being that we're fairly new to this town, would the Lord be willing to offer us lodgings?
Yes, I'm sure you'd be able to stay in one of the servant quarters.
And then I guess I'll look to Johan. Seems like a fitting place to meet back up.
I suppose. It's better than staying at the inn where someone died.
People die in the ends all the time. Come on, man. You know this.
All right, so Sarkesh is going to stay at the inn, but I'll meet you back at the servants' quarters.
He tells you which one to go to, essentially.
Okay.
Sarkesh, if someone tries to kill you, just leave us a note.
Hey, I'm not staying at the Bristleback. I'm at the other end.
Well, you're not very good at your job, then, are you?
No, that's the one the other end's the one I'm staying at. I'm at the Bristleback right now, waiting to do my job.
How are
I'm
you
waiting
talking?
for my companion.
Yeah, it's really crazy that we're having this conversation from across a town.
Notes. Lots of notes I left behind.
I don't think you're intelligent enough to anticipate this conversation.
Exactly.
So
So shut
I
up,
have-
Brendan.
I have to imagine all these notes are just like
Where did
carefully
you get the
pegged
parchment for
onto
this?
Malaysia.
I have parchment on me.
I know,
Like
this is a long
flashcards go on at the
conversation.
conversation, and then Bell holds up like the appropriate one.
It's good.
There's a lot of random ones that don't fit into the conversation, but there's a few that do.
Yeah, see, I thought you were
I
just
recommend
going
you
to
shut
go to
up,
the inn?
or you're gonna start losing parchment out of your inventory. So
I don't know what you're
Moving
I
talking.
thought you were
on.
still here and you were going to head to the inn. I didn't realize that you would just.
Well, I was done getting information. I'm just waiting for you.
I guess, are you there or not?
I'm still here, just waiting to leave with you.
Okay.
The last thing I said is I'm going to go to the inn once my companion is ready. Because I don't want to do this alone.
Because you're racist.
Because I thought we were having that conversation in character. Didn't realize that was all meta.
It was the meta.
Okay.
All right, so
Yeah, I'll meet you back at the servants' quarters, Perrin. That sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
Perrin departs to head to the graveyards. The Maester takes Vel and Hale to the Sept. And Johan and Sarkesh go to find Mr. Guard Captain. Vel and Hale, we'll start with you. He takes you to the Sept, opens the door, which is locked, lets you in, and then says, take all the time you need, and closes the door behind you, and you can hear it lock again. In front of you is a body that's draped in a nice white cloth, and the backpack of his belongings that was brought.
Okay. I'm gonna go to the backpack and start going through the belongings to see what there is to see and see if I notice anything strange.
Okay. You look through his backpack and you find some money. What you assume to probably be his focus. It's like a crystal orb, essentially. You find some parchment that's blank, a quill, a couple of books on. One is kind of like a series of maps of the mountains to the north, the Black Mountain and Misthaven. And another book is a book on natural body decomposition and anatomy. But you quickly kind of flip through them, and you don't find any writing or bookmarks or anything in them. And roll investigation. That's it. That's
Okay.
all the things.
I'm gonna hand the books to Vel and see if she, being the book person, would know anything about them or anything.
Val, you look them over, and the maps are really nicely detailed. This was probably a good few gold. Beyond that, the other book appears to be a anatomy book for training physicians.
After that, I'm going to go and uncover the body and look it over to see if I can find anything unusual.
Okay. As you kind of like lift the veil, a kind of sickly, sweet smell wafts up from it, and from your immediate like just glance over the body, nothing seems particularly odd about it.
Can I use detect magic on the body?
You can if you would like to.
I would like to.
Okay. You cast detect magic, and there is a magical aura surrounding the body. But you're pretty sure that it's a spell of preservation, essentially. There doesn't seem to be any kind of like lingering, malicious, or any other kind of magic, particularly. It just seems that somebody wanted to keep the body fairly pristine, and you can deduce that that's what's causing this kind of sweet scent.
Okay. I'm gonna turn to Vel and inform her that I used detect magic on the body, and I detected a faint aura of what seems to be a preservation smell, which seems to be the cause of the smell. I have not found anything malicious. I think investigating the body is not where we should be at the moment, having found nothing.
Okay. Vel is going to take another sweep through his backpack, just for good measure.
Alright, roll investigation.
Hot
You
damn.
notice that the kind of pouch that's storing his coins, and actually even the back of the book, and his focus all seem to have a kind of grayish clay on them.
Would I know anything about that or what it is?
It's a clay.
Cool.
Yep.
Good to know.
You could try and roll nature, I guess. That'd be about the only thing I can think of.
Well, shit, why not?
You can roll nature to see if it's natural, or you can try and roll arcana to see if you know of any spells that might use it. It's essentially the two things that you can do with that. It's clay. That is, yeah, probably real. You don't think it's artificially created clay? It's a clay that would
Well,
exist.
I am going to offer these items over to Halasia and point out there's clay on these. I don't know what's going on with this. Do you think you know anything about this?
I'm gonna roll nature to see if I know anything about it.
Okay. It's definitely clay. She's totally correct about that. That is gray clay. Yep.
Well, it definitely looks like clay, so we know that much. Maybe we should take it to somebody to see if they would know anything more about it.
Can't wait until you take it around all of the town and everyone's like, yeah, no, that's totally clay.
Maybe we should take it to...
Old man Harlan? I hear he's got a mule.
Good.
I feel like we should take it to the High Mage. See if he would know anything about it.
I don't think that's a good idea until we find out more of what's going on, though.
Are you suspecting foul play?
It does seem really strange that this happened in the first place. So if there is foul play, is it really a good idea to offer what evidence we managed to find to someone that we don't know?
Not necessarily, no. Maybe what we should do is we should leave the items here so that, because I know being Fiendkin, you tend to come under suspicion and not very many people trust me either. And we were left alone in here. I would not want to be pinned with stealing. So.
That's probably a very good idea.
Alright, then we should go and speak to
Though,
Judok.
before we leave, I am going to take a piece of my parchment and attempt to scrape some of the clay off into it and fold it up to take the clay with.
Okay, you do. You get, maybe a quarter-sized piece of clay onto your parchment.
All
This
right.
way, we at least have that to look into with someone else.
Good thinking.
You wanted to go and talk to Judic? Okay, you knock on the door. Judic unlocks the door and opens it.
We didn't really find too much of interest. We did notice a slight bit of clay on some effects in his bag, but other than that, there was nothing to be noticed.
Yes, I also didn't find very much when looking over the body.
What did you find when looking over the body, if I may ask, in case it's anything different than what we found?
He appeared to have died of what I assume could be exhaustion? I don't know, it doesn't... Well, the Archmage told me not to, or the High Mage told me not to open the body for a proper autopsy until all other evidence could be gathered. So he cast a spell of preservation on the body, but beyond that, it appeared that he just died of exhaustion.
Does it seem abnormal that the High Mage would ask you not to open the body for an autopsy until more evidence could be gathered? I assume that an autopsy would allow you to see what he died from.
I suppose it's a bit unusual, though I'm not as magically inclined as he, so perhaps there is a magics that affect the body differently that he's looking into. I'm not sure.
Okay,
it's
thank
not
you.
my domain of knowledge.
While we have him here, I'm going to take out my little bit of clay and open up the parchment to show him and ask if he would know anything about this clay.
That's definitely clay.
Good.
Thank you very much for your insight.
You rolled a 4. That's definitely clay.
Definitely gray clay. Definitely gray. And clay.
I don't even know if that's clay. What was that, like mud and water?
It's like silt, right?
Is it any clay that you may have seen around here? Have you seen any clay like it?
No. I don't deal. I'm not a potter. We have one in town, but
Could you maybe give us the location of him?
yeah, he tells you it's off of the main thoroughfare, but he gives you the location of that's easy. Potter's Pottery.
Someone was
Good.
lazy. And,
Richard
You're a
must have
potter,
done
Liz.
that at 2 a.m. All the other ones are like really nice, and then there's Potter's Pottery. Yeah, fuck that guy.
Just for the chuckles.
That guy gets nothing for me.
Oh god, I have to do an investigation now.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. I feel that I think we'll go to see the Potter.
Very good. And he kind of like, as you leave, he closes the door and again puts his key in and locks it. If you have need of me, I shall either be in the Great Hall or in the chamber that I brought you to.
All right. Thank you very much. And gonna start heading to go to Potter's Potter.
All right. Johann, Sarkesh, it takes you a little bit of time, but after about a half an hour, you do finally track down the captain of the guard. He is a middle-aged human who wears very nicely embroidered plate, like steel plate, with the sigil of the town on it. And he's not entirely sure why it is that you approach him. Hello, citizens.
Is it Dagger or Dagger?
It is Dagur.
Dagger? Okay. And Dorison, right? Or is
Yes.
that Dororson?
Dororison.
Dororison. Okay. Let's stick with Dagger. Captain Dagger?
Yes?
We were sent by Judik. He told us that you might have some information on an investigation we'd like to do.
Judik? Okay. Well, what is it?
Are there any people around, or is it just him?
You can take him aside, essentially, if you want.
Okay. Yeah, so can I either lead him, or
Mm-hmm.
can we speak somewhat more privately?
He takes you into one of the rooms of the castle.
He mentioned that it was you who discovered Dunakar's body at the Bristleback, right?
Yes.
At the Bristleback Inn 2 days ago.
Yes. One of my men came and fetched me as soon as they realized it was one of the mages.
I see. He didn't have much information to offer us in terms of the state of the room or anything for that matter, just that he died at the inn of apparent natural cause. Could you offer any more information?
Well, I'm afraid it's not going to be much. The room was kind of messy when we were in there. It didn't look like anyone had, rummaged through it or anything. It just seemed like he probably lived there for a while.
Messy with a scholar's touch, then.
Sure. We've asked Tyrion to keep the room preserved until a full investigation is underway. And I'm sure he's probably upset about that. Yeah, besides that, he just appears to have died. The Maester said that he died of exhaustion or natural causes, and I didn't see anything that would point to anything else. We checked
No evidence
the...
of forced entry?
None. We checked the wine and the water. The door was locked from the inside when my guard had initially got there. Or rather, when Tyrion said that the door was locked from the inside when he went to check on him.
Did you do a short preliminary investigation before leaving?
Yes, we looked over the entirety of the room to get any of his personal effects that we could find.
No carvings, anything out of the ordinary, even small, out of the way.
Not that we saw.
Where's this Tyrion fellow now?
He's probably still at his inn.
Oh, right. He's the owner of the inn. I don't know why I was thinking he was a soldier. So Tyrion is the only citizen aware of the matter?
So far as I know. Well, he's probably told his wife. But I believe they're the only two.
I see. Well, sorry to waste your time. Hopefully he'll have more information. If anything, comes back to you, or you recall anything that you may have left out, we're staying in the servants' quarters for the time being. Don't be a stranger. Feel free to stop by.
He nods, and
We'll
then...
turn over any evidence we find.
Yeah. He nods, takes out a piece of parchment and begins kind of scrawling something and then hands it to you. If Tyrion gives you any trouble, go ahead and hand him this. He'll let you into the room if you need to search it.
My apologies. Johann Koenig. Reach out my hand. I neglected to introduce myself.
Yes, and I'm Captain Dorson.
Pleasure to make your
Pleasure.
acquaintance. Sorry it's not under better circumstances.
And he just kind of nods knowingly, and then shakes Sarkesh's hand. Is that all you need me for? I'm quite busy.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry to
thank you for your
disturb.
time.
I give him a short salute and that out.
Okay. So where are you guys going now?
Well, I'd say to the end.
Yep.
All right. Perrin,
Yee.
you make your way to one of the cemeteries.
Yay.
Smells musty and like dead people.
Yep, it's a cemetery on the western side of town. It was the big. You basically asked, where's the largest cemetery, and they were like, that one. So you went there, and it's just on the outside of the wall. There doesn't really appear to be anyone around. You saw one person kind of mourning at a tombstone, but besides that, it seems kind of dead out here.
Uh-huh.
Open up the dish.
Alright. Yes, the first thing I want to do is try to find the gravedigger.
Go ahead
assume
and
he's got
roll
some-
persuasion.
Persuasion. You're gonna make me talk to the person this morning, aren't you?
I am.
That's great.
Hey, bitch, where's the person
Yeah,
who
it's
buried
just-
your husband?
That's not gonna go well.
Why would you? Why wouldn't you ask me that? My poor Marcus.
Okay.
You're mean, Perrin.
I guess I have to
God,
do this
one of
this
them.
cleric way. I'm
Cast
sorry, dear lady.
resurrection.
No.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
You're
Cast Spare
screaming
the
at the
Dying.
ground.
Yeah,
Third time's the
that-
charm.
Zombie. Anyway, guess I'll do the right thing. I'm sorry, dear lady. Let me join you in your mourning, and I'll say a few kind words, and I'll kneel down and clutch my holy acorn. Start.
Okay.
I don't know.
It seems
Hey, reciting holy words. What was that?
it seems to calm her down a little bit. Even though you do get the name wrong a couple of times, and but she seems a bit calmer now, and just kind of drops to her
Ask her
knees
to touch your butt.
and continues to mourn.
Good.
She seems quite wholly consumed by the death of her poor Marcus. You monster.
I'm sure. Not really sure what I want to do in this situation. I rolled a freaking 3.
You did. That was great.
If it was just a one.
Would have been
I
even
will
better.
laugh.
If she turned into an arc witch and just killed you. Ha No.
Good.
Nah,
Would
she
have been great.
probably just would have ran away screaming.
Push her into the grave and start burying her. Now you can be with him.
I'm sorry. You're gonna be closer now.
I just wanted an answer. Why does nobody answer me?
You pull out a hallucinogen grenade and set it off.
People are finally learning. Our
Good.
school is real.
Good. Did she bring anything for his grave?
For sorrow.
Well, there are flowers on the grave. And it's a fairly
Flowers.
fresh grave, so...
Step on him.
Okay. I guess I'll pull out a couple of candles from my pack and my tinderbox, and I'll kind of nudge her a little bit and go, I've not much, but would you like to light a couple candles for him?
I can't go any higher than that, I'm sorry. I tried.
It's okay, I could.
Brag about it.
Yeah, see where that gets you.
I guess that's a yes. So I'll take 2 candles and I'll go ahead and light them next to his tombstone.
Okay. At this point, you finally see a man with a shovel slung over his shoulder, kind of just walking a few yards away.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, so he can stop caring about her then.
Sounds like it. And I'll kind of pat her
Away.
on the
Away
back and
slowly.
start headed towards the guy with the shovel.
She continues to sob uncontrollably.
Good. And then as I'm getting closer to him, Sir,
Hmm? Yeah? What do you want? You got a
assume
grave that
you're
needs
the-
digging?
No, I'm here by order of the Lord.
Oh, Lord. Does somebody die in the family?
No,
Damn it. I mean,
The,
that's good.
Of course. The name of the elf that died was Dunakar, right?
The name of the elf that died?
Yep.
That name that was never given to you? Yeah.
It was.
Nah.
Do that car.
Nah.
No, Richard didn't give us a name on the dead elf.
That's the High Mage.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. That's weird.
Good job,
Okay.
guys.
Lots. Okay. No name. Alright.
Fuck.
I'm here to, help take over the investigations that the elf that was previously appointed to.
He stares at you blankly. So, you need a grave dug or not?
I was hoping you could help me,
Dig a
or help
grave?
to point out which graves have been robbed recently.
Oh, you're one of those. Okay. Follow me.
Follow.
You follow him, and he just kind of like walks by and he points. He's like, that one's been robbed from. A couple 100 feet more. That one was missing an arm. Keeps walking a little bit further. That one, both the bodies are missing. A little further, and that one was just dug up, but nothing's missing. That was weird.
Dug up, like, in the last day or so?
No, like that was probably almost a week ago.
Does it seem odd, given your profession, that people would just dig up the bodies and not take any of their possessions?
A little bit. You don't make as much money off of the body. I mean, like, I'm sure doctors could have a use for it, but not that I would know how much a body's worth.
So what you're telling me is I should try to roll insight.
I mean, you don't have to.
Let's go ahead and do that.
Come on, 2. Okay. He seems like he probably
It's a
doesn't
3.
know. He probably doesn't know how much a body's worth.
God, that's painful. I have a 5 for insight.
Yeah, it seems a little unusual.
So the thing I should ask, are the other graves or the other graveyards also experiencing the same kind of problem?
Hmm.
And I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. What's your name?
Gravedigger A. It's Zena. Z-A-N-A.
I'm Perrin, and I'll extend my hand. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too, Cleric. If you wouldn't mind not abusing the morning next time, that would be good. I mean, it was pretty funny, but that was kind of rude.
Yes, unfortunately, that lady was very sad, and I'm fairly inexperienced with death, being an elf myself. It's somewhat a rare occurrence.
I see. Well, gentle. Gentle is always better.
I'll try to keep that in mind.
So, is there anything else I can do for you, Perrin?
Do you live on these grounds, Zena?
Yeah, I live in a cabin right over there. He kind of points into a lightly forested area, and you can indeed see a set of cabins.
I guess my last question would be, do you notice any unusual people when it's dark near the graves?
As opposed to the usual people that come out in the dark by the graves?
Well, aside from people like, and I point to the woman crying, people that are mourning like that one?
No. I try and chase off anyone that appears to be mischievous. I'm protective of my bodies.
That was kind of a weird thing for him to say. But okay.
Sure.
Well, I thank you for your time, and I'll pull out a gold piece and tip him with it, I guess.
His eyes as big as saucers as he clutches the gold piece. Thank you. Thank you if there's anything else you need, or if you ever need a grave dug, come and see Zena the Digger. I'll dig that grave for you.
Of course, if I have further questions, I'll be sure to try to find you.
I'm always here, unless I'm getting food.
Sounds good.
How bad is
I'll
that?
let you get back to work.
Okay. And he walks over to his cabin.
Good.
All right,
Probably
Val.
isn't up to a couple of days.
Perrin, now what are you gonna go and do? Actually, before we jump to the next triplet.
I guess I'd like to re-examine some of the graves that he pointed out to me.
Okay.
He said one was missing an arm. I'd like to look over that one.
Okay. Well, all the graves have been filled back in. Like, there's none that are open. So, do you want to... Are you going to ask him to, like, dig them up?
Not yet, but maybe.
Because, yeah, looking over them, you're just going to find kind of, like, either fresh or dirt that's been down for, like, a little while. Because they don't just leave the graves open.
bad for business, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. It'll look a little weird.
A little bit. Are there any holes that the grave digger dug recently himself and hasn't filled yet?
Like just empty ones?
Yep.
Yeah, there's probably like one or two that are just empty plots.
Hmm.
He's a forward-thinking gravedigger.
Good.
Kicked in hole.
Alright. And about what time of day is it? think
It's
with the
probably
seven-
mid-afternoon.
Afternoon. Okay. Then I guess I'll just make my way towards the town square.
Okay. Alright, Hal. Well, you find your way to Potter's Potter. Or Potter's Pottery.
All right.
It's a
We're
pretty
gonna go
nice,
and-
simple shop just off of the thoroughfare.
All right. We're gonna go inside and talk to the Potter.
You get in and you see a fairly old, actually quite well built for such an old man, kind of hunched over a pottery wheel, making what appears to be an actually fairly nice and elegant kind of orange vase. Or perhaps it's a small cistern.
All right. I'm gonna approach him and. Hello, sir. I couldn't help but notice what a lovely vase you're working on. I was wondering if it may be possible, since you seem to know your stuff quite well, if you could tell us what kind of clay my friend and I have encountered. And I'm gonna gesture to Vel.
And he's wearing on his vase like, oh hi, yes, it's a very nice vase. Oh my god, water. Oh, okay, sure. What do you need?
This is my friend Veltari. I'm Helasia. We came across some clay. I'm gonna gesture for Vel to show him the clay. We were wondering if you could identify what kind of clay it is and maybe tell us where it had come from or what it was used for.
Yes, sure, lass. And he holds out a very shaking hand.
Phil gently hands it over, trying not to freak him out.
You two being a pair is my favorite thing.
I feel so bad.
Well, it's it's gray. There's a lot of silt in it. Yeah, probably lots of salt nearby.
Have you ever come across any clay like this before?
No, it's really not good pottery clay.
It's not. Could you maybe tell us anybody who you think might know what this clay could be used for?
I guess. Well, you could get salt from it. So, like a grocer might know? I don't know.
And there's nothing else that you could really tell us other than we could get salt from it? Alright, well, thank you so much for your time, and I'm very sorry to have startled you. We'll just be leaving now. Thank you again, and quite a lovely pot.
Thank you. And he goes back to working on his pot, and you can see the shakes in his hands making small indents up and down the side of it.
Oh, once we get outside, I'm gonna turn to Vel and ask her where she feels like we should go next.
Terrifying.
I feel so bad.
Charisma didn't help with the old man.
He did not send us away. He answered our questions, even though we terrified him.
Which
Old man was not
very
in
kind of
sexy
him.
tree.
There was a moving tree and then a demon.
Where do you feel that we should go next? I know he
It was
mentioned the
only
salt.
the power of my boners that got me through the conversation.
That one.
Yeah.
It was only my rock hard willpower.
Stop it!
Throbbing.
Mom,
Throbbing
Throbbing.
willpower.
I'm going to cut it off and show it to Gotcha. Okay. Well, he mentioned something about salt, and maybe a grocer might know. Do you think maybe we should head there next? Or should we just go find the others?
We may as well, since it's the only other lead we've gotten so far, and it couldn't hurt. The only thing it'll take up is time.
Alright, then let's look for the grocer.
Alright. So, Johan, Sarkesh, you guys make your way downtown. Rest of that song. And find your way to the Bristleback Inn. As you enter, you are, since it's now actually starting to get kind of into the early evening, you're welcomed by the warmth of a fire in the hearth. There's some really nice furs laid out beneath your feet. And the smell of sweet rolls and pastries kind of fill the air. You're approached by a fairly short, kind of squat man who approaches and, hello. My name is Terry and Elise. This is my inn. Welcome to the Bristleback. Can I get you a mead, a wine, perhaps? My wife's almost done with the sweet rolls. We have a nice pork stew if you would like it, or maybe you need a room. What can I do for you, masters?
Actually, I was hoping to have a private word with you in the back, very quickly.
With-
I was sent by.
Do we know
Judok.
it? The maester?
Yes,
Yeah.
about
Oh.
private affairs.
Okay. And he kind of leads you to the kitchen, essentially.
Once we're in there, it's just us and him, right?
And his wife.
Okay. We're here about the incident with the Fathian mage 2 days ago.
Oh, yes. That was very sad. It was a nice man. It was a nice man.
We were hoping you could perhaps give us some information, as we have very few leads, and I'm afraid yours is our last.
What do you need?
I'd like to know his name if you caught it.
I think it started with an L. La. Le.
If you can't remember it.
Yeah, I'm afraid I can't.
It's fine.
All right, I cut out pretty bad. Was there anything between "l" and
No.
"yeah, I'm afraid I can't"? Okay.
Nothing that was
It's
important.
All right.
Yeah, FYI, when that happens, it seems like the whole call kind of like freezes for a couple seconds.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that's about.
No.
It's got being done.
Anyways,
I'd like to have access to the room, if you don't mind.
I'm sorry, I was told not to let anyone in there.
I pull out the note from Dagar, or Dagur. Hopefully this will suffice.
Yeah, sure, of course. And, he kind of like straightens up with that and takes you over to the room. He was here for a little over 3 weeks, and he puts the key in and unlocks it and opens it. Nothing's been touched since the guards came in, as was requested.
How often did you speak with him, if at
Uh,
all? Or just
Only
your initial...
only in passing when he paid for his room.
Did he get food and wine from you?
Occasionally. It seemed most of the time he got his own food and wine.
How often did you check on him?
I tend to leave my guests alone unless they request anything. He hadn't paid his room in 3 days, so I went to go and see if he had run out, and I found his body.
So you're saying it's... wait. And that was 2 days ago?
Yes?
So you're saying it's possible he's been dead for 5 days?
Yes.
I see.
If you'll give us a moment, I would like to look over this room with my companion Johann in private.
Very good. And he kind of like backs out of the room and closes the door.
All right, Johann. Let's try and find anything out of the ordinary. Anything that you would think could be used for magic or poison, anything.
I'm not much one for poison or magic, but I suppose I'll do my best.
I give him a short rundown of what magical artifacts look like. Since I'm a paladin, I should know that.
Well, I would have ideas for artifacts. I meant like I have no way to check.
Like hexes and
yeah,
just the
I wouldn't
symbols
know
is
how to
what I'm
search for that
going.
stuff.
That's what I'm going to run you down with. Because necromancy symbols are pretty high up there on the paladin's watch list.
Both you go ahead and make investigation checks.
Yeah.
My investigation's so good, guys. Holy shit, that was better than I expected.
One sec.
Congrats.
Guts to find it.
Look at you with not rolling like a 3.
I know.
It's weird.
It is
It's,
weird.
it's untrained and my intelligence isn't super high, so I was expecting the worst. It is just to the right of the word wisdom.
It's just below the word wisdom?
Just to the right of the word wisdom.
Okay, there it is. Okay. I can't see shit.
16's not
Oh,
bad.
wait, I can't.
Both of you notice that there is like a kind of dry mud along the bottom of the room and kind of stuck to some of the furs and stuff. That doesn't seem, well, it seems, paler than the normal mud that you've seen tracked around.
Is it like a thin coating across the entire room, or is it footsteps, or how
it's
is
just
it
kind of
distributed?
it's just kind of blotches.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to take some of my parchment and take a sample.
Okay. Johann, you also looking over the room. You notice that the door, even though everything about it seems fairly reasonably intact, since Sarkesh basically told you about the symbols, you were looking over it really closely and trying to look underneath the door to see if maybe it was etched under there. And as you push it up, you realize that there's no bottom on the hinges, and it just kind of came off. and then you set it back down after seeing there was nothing under there.
So did I notice that he did that?
Yeah, you saw that too.
Okay, no wonder the door was still closed.
So, just to get this straight, it basically looks like someone could have just lifted the door and done that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, that's obviously a big thing that that the guard didn't notice.
I would certainly say so.
So this obviously this obviously could be some foul play.
Did you
Well,
think perhaps it wasn't?
No, I was just making sure of all routes. I think we should check on this clay with the Archmage to see if it has anything to do with the area, including magic use.
Or perhaps if it can be found in the cemetery, he might have just tracked it in himself.
True. I'd like to check the cemetery before we head back to the castle then.
Okay. Can I look over, like, some of his, you said his notes are kind of sprawled all around, right?
No, there's no notes on there. All the notes were
Oh, it's
collected.
personal effects.
Oh, okay, they collected everything. So what
Mhm.
did they leave intact then? They just grabbed all his books and stuff?
Yeah, there's like bedding that's kind of, messy. There's half-eaten food on a table. There's essentially like a tome of the divines that probably belongs to the inn. Some parchments and a ink bottle with a quill in it that probably also belongs to the inn.
Okay. But all of his personal effects have been removed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Alright.
Well, that's all we can assess for now.
I suppose it'll have to do.
Let's go at least tell the innkeeper that we are leaving for now.
Is the innkeeper still right outside the door, or did we hear him walk away?
You open the door and he's not there.
Okay. Then in that case, at that point, I'll turn to Sarkesh, and I say we keep the information about the door to ourselves for now.
Yeah, so let's build more on our clues before we say anything.
Although, just to be sure, I'm going to walk to like the next door over,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going
No
to.
one's in there.
Huh?
Make sure no one's in there before you do that, because this is an inn.
No, because I'm just going to attempt to lift the door. I'm not going to like rattle the door handle or knock or be like, "Excuse me, I'm just going to test and see if your door's busted." I'm just going to see if it goes up. If it doesn't, move on with my life.
Okay.
Yeah, you kind of brace yourself against the handle and pull up, and it jiggles a little bit, but it doesn't come loose.
Okay. Then I continue down the hallway.
Okay.
I close the door behind me and follow.
I guess we're just going to stop downstairs and let them know that we're headed out. So.
Okay. He thanks you and then goes to lock the door.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for your time, and if you would be so kind as to continue leaving the room as we've left it.
Of
At
course.
least until the investigation is concluded.
Of course. And
Thank
how
you,
long do
sir.
you think that's going to be?
Well, we
Maybe
don't plan
another
on
day
being
or
in town
two.
for too long, so
Depends.
hopefully. I don't know what just happened. Okay.
Okay, he goes and he locks the door.
Hmm.
Alright, you guys start heading towards the graveyard, Perrin. I forgot where you were heading again. You were just going to the center of town, weren't you?
The town square.
Alright, you kind of walk up and you see Veltari, Halasia, Sarkesh, and Johan converging on your location from two different angles.
That's weird.
Quite fortuitously, it might appear.
Hmm. They're weird. But okay. I guess I'll wait until they both kind of approach. Or both groups kind of next to me.
And then what do you do?
Hello, Perrin.
Hi. I hope your guys' search was more fortuitous.
Not quite.
So far, not too many leads.
Not much to go off of either.
Well, we're
The
not
only
done
thing
yet.
of interest
Sorry.
The only thing of interest that Helasia and I found was on some of the mage's belongings was this clay, and I pull it out and I show them.
Hey, I found some of that too.
Funnily enough, I'm hoping Sarkesh is either pulling it out or just exclaiming that we found it as well.
I pull it out and show her. I got a pretty large portion, so.
It was all over the mage's room.
Well, Hale and I took it over to the potter, and apparently it's a clay that isn't really good for any type of pottery or the like, and it's high in salt. So we were gonna go by the grocer next to see if they knew anything about it.
Johan and I are heading towards the graveyard to see if it came from there.
Perrin, make an intelligence check.
Oh god. Oh, okay.
Aaron's so
Never
smart.
mind.
Yeah, that kind of looks like the silty kind of dirt that was on the shovel of the gravedigger.
Oh, okay. I
Siren blares.
that was my chair. I think I've seen that clay at the graveyard I was just at.
Interesting.
That clears one thing up.
Do you
Yes.
recall
Speaking-
where at the graveyard?
I
assume
believe
the ground.
the gravedigger I met, Senna, was covered in it.
Maybe we should go speak to the gravedigger again.
Sounds like a good plan for now.
It's more to go off of than I got out of him. He is a very simple man. But I know where he lives, so let's go to the graveyard again.
All right.
Lead
let's
the
head
way.
out.
Right. You head over to the western graveyards, and you see Perrin. You lead them quickly to Zinna's cabin.
Passing by the lady who's mourning.
Yeah, that lady
Yes,
is
please.
still bawling over there.
Good.
Is she bawling because she lost her husband or because Perrin's an asshole?
Both?
Be right back. Going on about it.
Bit of both.
Anyway, knock on his door.
Yes. Who's there?
It's Senna. It's Perrin again.
You can hear like the unlatching of a lock, and then the door opens. Oh, hello, Perrin and friends. What can I do for you? Need a grave
These are
dog?
my not this time. These are my traveling companions. They are also assisting in the task the Lord has given us. They have a couple questions for you.
Okay, sure. Odd companions you find yourself with, but okay. What can I do for you?
We found a batch of clay in multiple locations pending our case, and we're wondering if perhaps you could point us to its source. Perrin. Yes. The entire gravesite?
Probably. I mean, what kind of clay is it?
Sarkesh?
Sarkesh will be back in a minute.
Oh, okay.
He fishes out the clay. and hands it over, and he looks at it.
I like that both of the people who have the clay have left.
Fucked up.
Yeah.
A scent of bovines and horses can be smelled wafting through the air as both
I thought he was
Veltari
flashing.
and Sarkesh run into the forest.
Cinnaminotaurs?
Oh God.
Nah, man.
Can they be minotaurs with the lower bodies of a horse?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
Brittany
if
hates
that's
cinnamon.
what you're into, we can do that for
Ugh.
you.
Gonna let that happen. But yeah, he looks it over and he's like, yeah, this grave soil.
Does it actually match the soil on the ground, or is it just...
Well, it's not gonna match here, Johan. But if you go towards where the bodies are, it'll look like that. When you dig down a couple feet.
Have you had any dealings with any Fathians recently?
Yeah.
Deceased or otherwise?
One came by here asking about grave robbers like him, who, he said he replaced, and I told him, we've had a few robberies, pointed him out. That was that. He took some notes and tested the soil and then left.
Was he just
Did he-
here the one day, or...
He came back a couple of times, but he never bothered me after that. After the first one.
Did you take note of him any time he stopped by?
Not particularly. I mean, saw him a couple of times.
Did he ever visit the fresh graves, or those that had been dug up?
Well,
Or did
yeah.
he just investigate the...
Any of them that had been dug up, he visited.
And can you tell me what all has been taken from the desecrated graves?
Body, an arm. One was just dug up and doesn't appear to be missing anything. One was missing some jewelry.
Did the ones who had entire bodies or just limbs removed have any jewelry to be stolen?
I don't know.
Why would someone
great.
steal an arm?
Why would someone steal a whole body?
Practice surgery?
One that's been decaying for a while?
I don't know.
You said one of the graves wasn't missing anything. Is that unusual to you? I mean, it was dug up.
I mean, yeah, that's strange, but I didn't think much of it. I figured they dug it up, saw that it didn't have any jewelry on it or anything they could take, and then just left.
So, just off subject, what about the Marcus fellow who was just buried recently?
What?
We could hear her sobbing on the way, Richard.
I know. He doesn't know. He doesn't care. He just digs the holes.
How recent was that?
Today?
Okay.
I don't know when he
Oh.
died, but I buried him today. What do you want to know about him? His wife's over there. He kind of patronized his wife or something. I don't know. He walked over and then she started freaking out.
Karen? You want to explain?
Sarkesh, I don't think you have any room to criticize.
No, I understand. I'm a
Sorry.
racist asshole.
Did you say that in character?
Yes. He
All right.
knows he is.
It's good to know he's fully aware of his lot in life.
The lady was simply mourning.
Yes. And what did you do to her?
Yes, because I
Right.
wouldn't have said anything to her.
Tried to comfort her. This mourning process is unusual. Humans are such odd creatures.
I suppose I'll give you that.
Ouch. Says the one human.
Yeah. He knows who he is. Anyways, he turns back to the gravedigger. If you'll pardon me for asking, how many graves have been dug up on your watch?
6 now?
What's the most recent one that was dug up?
He kind of points over to the one that was dug up but nothing was taken.
There's a gold in it for you if you dig it up so we can investigate.
He takes the gold and walks over and starts digging.
How many days ago was it robbed or attempted robbery?
3 or 4? Dig.
Hmm.
Dig. Dig.
Before that, would you say how often do these occur? How many days in between?
A couple. Dig. Dig.
Can I take note as he's digging to at what point he hits the clay?
It's like 2 feet down, essentially.
Okay, so like a couple shovelfuls.
Yeah, I mean, he's going in a circle motion. He's not
Oh,
like,
okay.
doing holes 6 feet down.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's not that
kinda good.
long until he hits it.
Okay.
So after about an hour and a half, he finally digs up the whole body and then gets out of the hole and is panting quite heavily.
Well, at least you'll have a good drink tonight.
Yeah. Anything else you need?
That ought to do it.
If-
Have the guards been patrolling the graveyard since anything has happened?
Not a lot. I mean, they can see it from the wall, so I don't really know, but they don't come down here very often.
If someone were stealing these bodies for profit, how much would they fetch?
I don't know.
Fair enough.
I examined is it a pine casket or what?
No,
Could just
they're
be a
just
corpse.
buried.
Yeah.
They're buried corpses.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna roll an investigation.
What are
Oh,
you
that's
To see what I
investigating?
find.
I'm
Anything
investigating.
unusual.
Okay,
You're investigating anything unusual?
I believe. That's a dead body.
I find nothing.
It is unusual to see a dead body.
I'm
In
gonna
cemetery, I don't think
investigate.
so.
I'm gonna investigate around
Kinda.
the hole and the body to see if anything is amiss, aside for being a dead body dug up.
Okay.
There's some
Yep,
displaced
That is
dirt.
a weird dead
There
body.
is, well, okay, so you walk forward, and you see Hal kind of like, or Hale looking around, and you look forward and you're like, oh wow, that's a dead body. How weird. Who would have ever thought that? Oh my god, and you fall in the hole. And as you land atop the dead body, you realize how peculiar it is that this body would be buried 6 feet down. That seems like an arbitrary number to you. You're not quite sure where that came about, and you wonder that as you fall.
I also wonder why they don't burn their bodies.
Oh, yeah. These Aldarians are odd and strange customs to you.
Somebody get him out of the hole. He might be ruining evidence.
I'm 6'4". I can easily get myself out.
Then
Yeah,
get out
I'm
of the
6'4".
hole.
yeah, he's tall.
No, no,
Yeah, I'm just
saying
gonna
only
Get
6'4"? I
myself
thought he was
out
taller
of the
than
hole
me.
easily. Wait, let me check. God
You
damn
were
it.
6'8".
I gotta actually check my bio. Yeah, I'm 6'8", so that's a lot easier than 6'4".
Either
Only by a
way,
few inches.
you push yourself up from the body, and wipe away some of the corpse that got stuck into your chainmail,
Ew.
and then climb out of the hole.
Oh yeah, that's like
Um,
300 pounds of fill on that guy.
Half of the body is now fairly well crushed, and the other side kind of looks like this brownish purple toothpaste has just kind of found crevices to eke out of. It smells
That's gross.
pretty
Yeah,
bad.
laugh it up. You broke it.
You know, Sarkesh, I'm no holy man, but I feel as though you might have just desecrated a corpse.
The dead are not sacred to my people. Only their lives are.
Yeah, you've made that readily apparent.
I'm just glad it wasn't the poor grieving woman's husband.
Let's go dig up that grave next.
No.
Not part of our investigation. Karen, you want to use spare the dying?
I'm afraid it's a little past that.
Hasn't stopped you before.
While they're
True,
all doing
but-
this, I take steps to the side, pull out my water sack, and start getting the all the gunk and dead corpse juice off of me.
You use most all of your water, and you're a little cleaner, but it's kind of hard to get in between all the little links to get the flesh bits out and the decayed kind of pus. I mean, most of that washes off, but the smell lingers.
Keep going.
Okay. Someone put this up on a metal rod or something. I'm gonna burn it. I'll get all the crap off of it.
Alright, so does anybody else notice anything strange going on around here? Or what's left of the corpse?
Other than Sarkesh crushing part of the body,
And making it splash out like toothpaste.
That's good. That's a good
I'm
one.
gonna
Thank you for
take
that.
a look and see if anything's salvageable, or any form of evidence is, at least.
I like the DC just
Uh,
went up by 5 points because of that.
Answers.
It's good, right?
It's investigation, right?
Come on, nat 20. Close.
15.
Well, this was definitely a body, of a person. It's actually kind of difficult to discern the race of the person now. The head's pretty crushed in. It's of human height. So
Are there any knife ears?
you can't really tell. That is
You just shut the hell up! You broke it!
quite the crushed toothpaste head there.
And as she says that,
It
he
kinda-
just sits there laughing.
It kind of looks like an orange that's been crushed in. Except, like pinkish.
See, this
So-
is why we burn our dead.
Well, good for you. We're trying to get information, though. And this is what, twice now that the information has been pulled out from under my feet because someone being careless?
Yeah, Perrin.
Hey, I admit I was
Oh.
careless.
I'm gonna see
Is
if I
there
can do
a,
an Arcana check to see if there's anything subtle or anything out of the ordinary about the
Nothing
grave.
subtle about this group.
No, not the group. The grave.
Arcana or detect magic?
Arcana. I don't want to use another detect magic spell slot.
You can certainly try to, yeah.
Is there, while she's doing that, is there a
There's
There
gravestone
ain't
or just a marker?
nothing mystical about this. Is a toothpaste man that used to be a nice corpse, and now it is just disgusting.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Juice is everywhere,
Shut
even
up!
outside the grave now. Come here, Elijah. Let me give you a hug.
You fucking touch me, I will do bad things to you, and not in the good way.
Promise.
That's usually what bad
So
things
was
are.
Mark.
Just so you know, Arcana doesn't work the same way as Investigation. You have to have like a very specific thing for Arcana to do anything at all.
Okay.
Like you have to have like a spell, and you're like reading
So,
it
question.
and you use Arcana.
Okay. I have a question.
Okay.
Nature checks. I don't remember exactly what they do.
You kind of it's if you've come across something like this in nature, or recalling kind of like how terrain or plants or animals or that kind of thing, anything that you might have known about natural phenomena,
Okay, thank you.
or like weather patterns or things like that.
Alright, that works.
It's essentially Arcana.
Bob?
It's
know
it's
anything.
Arcana but for nature.
So did anybody notice how long it took the gravedigger to dig up the grave? It took him roughly an hour and 30 minutes, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't you think it would be unusual for the number of graves that have been dug up and disturbed for somebody to have not noticed?
Depending on if more than one person did it. I asked the grave digger, how many people would it take to dig up the grave within
He left.
30 minutes?
Yeah,
or
he's
less?
gone.
He
I'm
left.
going to his cottage and asking him this.
Okay.
All right.
He's gonna smell the-
like 3 or 4 probably.
I want to know if he sees the dead body bits in Sarkesh's armor.
He smells
Probably does.
something.
Do you have a well nearby that I can use?
No.
Don't fall in the well. No.
Immediate and an abrupt no.
Give me a bucket of water, please.
Stay here. And he leaves, and he comes back a couple minutes later and hands you a very large bucket filled with water. Please do that on the lawn.
Okay, but I'm gonna do an insight check on him just to see if I notice anything out of the ordinary.
Okay.
You inciting. He said no, and
That's
do it
fine.
on the lawn.
Well, he doesn't want me to get that stuff in the well, so I understand that. Screw it. I'm just gonna go clean myself off in the outside.
Okay.
So no insight check then?
No, never mind.
You wash it off, and most of the smell is gone. Some of it still lingers because some of it did soak through into your clothing that you're gonna have to get washed.
Damn it.
You kind of roll your eyes as you come to this realization, and then give the bucket back.
No more meaty bits in my armor.
Oh,
So I'm sorry, is there a gravestone or just a grave marker where this...
it's just a marker.
Okay.
You can tell kind of from the way that the cemetery is set up that you're in the poorer section.
Mm-hmm.
There's mostly just markers here. There aren't usually headstones with names or any kind of real way to discern who's in it.
Okay. Do any of them have etchings on them? Like, not in depth, but just something that so that a passerby would remember which plot to visit.
Roll investigation.
Good.
Couple of them have
A couple of them?
crude
Okay.
markings just etched onto the markers.
Yeah. I figure it wouldn't be anything like a name, but like an X and a square.
Hmm.
So.
I asked the grave digger if any of the graves in the side of town, where the richer portion of the graveyard was dug up.
He can't recall any of them being dug up, at least not in like any recent time. He's chased a couple of people off.
Simple grave robbers.
Yeah.
Alright, thank you. I'm gonna go back to the group and I'm gonna check on my way there to see if it's not. Just look up and see if it's almost night. Or
Oh
if
yeah,
it is
no.
night.
Night's fallen.
So I'm gonna light a torch on the way back.
Okay.
I can see in the dark. I don't know if they can.
Pretty sure I'm the only person who can't.
Yeah,
Except for
Johan.
I don't
maybe
know
Hale.
if I can.
I don't think Hal
I don't
can
think I
either. I don't think Hale or Johan can, but everyone else I'm pretty sure
Pretty
can.
sure I can't.
Trees don't see in the dark. They just tree.
We do just tree. We tree magically.
Oh, normally they tree naturally.
Well, she.
Richard, how did you
trees
describe
magic-
the how did you describe the head and the toothpaste for me real quick?
Oh,
for my
stop
notes?
it. Please, no.
Let's get off this subject, Zach. I'm done with the jokes.
Didn't take my notes.
Just make a squishing sound in your notes.
Crushed,
How do I
crushed orange.
Squish.
crushed orange? Thank you.
Toothpaste, right?
Yeah, purple toothpaste.
With veiny bits.
And brown spots as well.
Yeah.
See, I was
Pleasant.
good with just the crushed orange. You guys keep going. I wasn't doing it to make her uncomfortable.
Roger and I were.
I wasn't. I was just pointing stuff out for your notes.
Just for clarity's sake. Yeah, it's starting to get pretty cold. Being a winter night in the north.
I have the torch, so I'm the only one with warmth.
A little bit of warmth. Torches aren't that good at warming.
Not to mention my body's a lot warmer than most people's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, girl.
Though Halasia doesn't seem phased.
I didn't hear you, so. Oh, yeah, no.
So now what do you guys do?
Well, I
Uh,
advise investigating in daylight hours, and I'm kind of tired.
Alright, I'm going back to my inn. Anyone know where we can get feed for the pack horses?
A general store, I imagine.
Hopefully
Probably.
there's one open.
No,
Sure.
all the stores are closed at nightfall. There's taverns
Well.
that are open, but that's about it.
I'll feed them tomorrow morning. I'm the one going to be watching them anyways.
I didn't steal them.
Of course you didn't steal them. They're our horses.
I like how that works.
Mm.
Taking the durian approach to ownership, I like it.
Okay, I'm going to go to the inn that I've paid for across from the Bristleback.
Okay. You make your way to
I'm
the
gonna go to
tavern.
the servants' quarters that I didn't pay for.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get me a dinner.
Yeah. What kind of dinner are you gonna get? You gonna get a good dinner?
How much copper am I spending? What does he have for sale?
Well, it depends on how good a dinner you want. There are, like a nice cheese and some bread. Do you want meat? Do you want vegetables? This is a pretty bustling town. You can get pretty much whatever you want.
A small piece of
Quaaludes.
ham, a wedge of cheese, and some bread.
Okay, that would probably be like 6 copper.
Okay, I'm removing that from my inventory.
Okay.
And I'm going to be drinking what's left of my Necronian liquor.
Alright. It's good. It is still good.
There is only like a few shots left, so there's that.
It is good. The rest of you guys make your way back to the castle.
I'm gonna stay outside and find an inconspicuous location to tree up.
Okay.
Yeah.
You find another group of trees and you tree near them.
Seems legit.
The only maple tree around the other trees.
Yeah. It's fine. You're
Where'd
fine.
that come from?
Gardener's
He
like,
didn't
what
say
the
what kind they
fuck?
were.
I've been tending this garden for 40 years. There's never been a maple tree.
Guess we should rip it down.
It's usually too cold for this, but it is beautiful.
Man, that maple tree has a nice ass.
Yes.
Make the
Why
groundskeeper
does it have
question his
tits?
sexuality.
Trees don't have asses. They don't have
Ground-
asses.
When you've got 20
Groundskeeper-
charisma, you got a nice ass.
I'm a tree. I don't have an
Oh
ass
no,
in tree
that's
form.
18. If you have 20 charisma, you have a nice ass and nice breasts.
Someone is getting a stern talking to.
Groundskeeper has
It's
become a
fine, Joel,
dendrophile.
fine.
It's fine. It's good. So the rest of you guys,
That's a nice bark.
rest of you guys get some food and go to bed, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guard
Get it.
gruel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doyle rules.
It's good. I like it. I like Doyle. He's a good guy. All right, so the next day dawns. Hale, you wake up to being watered.
That feels weird.
Thank you for the watering, kind gardener.
Oh my god! It talks!
I don't know why you thought that was gonna work.
Startled you. Hale just laughs quietly to herself and goes to meet the others.
I'm gonna go. get
Vel,
a-
can you please tell me that you've been perched at the top of a tower all night
Just
and
for
you wait
that.
until someone comes by to go, Satan's watching.
She jumps down, 3-point landing, and then just casts Witch Bolt everywhere.
Well, anytime you're in a bad mood, we should totally pair up and just make it a point to scare as many people as we can.
That can't ever end poorly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good thing I'm not associated with this party anymore.
He's possessed by the demon.
Yeah, I'm just the innocent possessed tree.
Yes, it's a good idea with the witch hunters in town.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wonderful idea.
That'll go good.
Satan's
The
Lord of
lead of
Darkness.
them
Since
already
in
doesn't
this
like me.
town.
So what do you guys do?
I'm waiting on the others to come out of the castle.
Okay.
I'm getting feed for the horses.
All right, you go and get feed for
And
horses.
trying not to scare gardeners.
How much copper am I spending this time?
Go
Give
talk
me
to
a
Judic.
second. Feed is 5 copper per day.
Okay,
That's 15
I'm spending
copper,
one
or-
day right now. So 15 copper.
So Johan, you're looking for a Judic?
Yeah, and I'd like to bring Vel with me.
All right. Provided Vel willing, you both find a Judic.
That's what I was waiting for. I didn't get any confirmation.
I'll go. I don't care.
Okay. Thank you.
Probably go better than my adventure with Hale.
Trying to keep.
Johan,
to the
how
side.
are you?
Quite well, sir. I thought I'd share what few findings we have from yesterday. Vel, if you wouldn't mind, the clay.
Yes, she showed me that when they left the sept.
We found quite a bit more throughout the Fathian's room as we investigated it yesterday. So, I'm not entirely certain where our plan of attack lies for
And
today.
then one other
And one other what?
one other location. But I don't know if you really want to bring that up, so.
Anyways. Yeah. Right. So we found that the clay comes from a few feet underground in the graveyard to the west of town. We had the gravedigger dig up the most recently pillaged corpse to see what all was going on, but our paladin fell into the grave and crushed him, so any information there is lost.
He gives a slight chuckle as you say that, and then looks very serious immediately afterwards.
Oh, it was quite amusing. It's just rather irritating that it comes at the expense of the investigation.
He nods.
To be fair, though, there are other graves that were robbed. I mean, that was just the most recent one.
There are. But now we have to wait for the gravedigger to dig up another one, assuming he doesn't have something else he's doing today. But all the same. And the second and slightly more pertinent piece of information in this investigation would be that even though the door remained unlocked, or the door remained locked as they went into his room that evening, the door can simply be removed from its hinges. Anyone can gain entrance. As of this moment, you, Vel, and Sarkesh, along with myself, are the only 4 who are aware of this fact.
He nods and thanks you for your report.
So, if you have anywhere else you could recommend our search take us today, it would be most appreciated. Otherwise, we are planning on just heading back to the gravesite.
He agrees that's probably the best. He can't think of anywhere else.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time, Judik.
And thank you for your help, I suppose, Johan. And of course, Feltari.
Do you suppose the captain of the guard would be interested in his little oversight?
I'll share it with him.
Perhaps I should share it with him. Where can I find him?
He should be in the galley with the rest of the breakfast group. He's usually up fairly early.
Excellent. Thank you again for your time. And with that, I'm just gonna walk away.
Okay. You make your way to the galley. There are lots and lots of people eating food. It is just off of the main hall. Perrin is also there because Perrin likes food.
I
Hail
like a
May.
dagger.
Hale may or may not be there because she's a tree.
She waits
I'm
outside.
still waiting.
And my user is kindling.
I should be done feeding the horse.
You have finished feeding a horse.
I look for dagger.
You find a girl.
Hello, dagger.
That's a really odd way to say hi to someone, Johan. What can I do for you?
I'm not a morning person.
Would you like to have a seat?
I don't mind if I do.
And
Is
Veltari, if you would like, you may also sit.
there like a cafeteria line for me to get food, or is he just offering me a seat?
He's offering you a seat. There's essentially like a cook with what appears to be a kind of nice, like oatmeal kind of thing that they're just kind of ladling out that you can go and get at any time.
Okay. How many people are sitting around him?
Two.
Couple?
Just 2 guards sitting on either side of him.
I don't think I actually have anything. I guess not. Alright. So yeah, I'll just... there's been an update in our investigation. I just thought I should let you know, as I let Judik know, that there is a... And I lost my train of thought. Good stuff. There was a fault in security at the inn that your men appear to have overlooked.
Oh. And he kind of like makes a sidelong glance to the person sitting to his left.
Whether the door is locked or unlocked appears to be irrelevant for that room, as it can simply be removed from its hinges with minimal effort.
Smack! and the guard next to him just like lurches forward, and you can see his eyes kind of just roll, and he gets up and then taps the other one, and they both leave immediately.
Both the two who he tapped, or the okay,
The one
So-
that he hit, and then he
okay.
tapped the other guy, and they both
Yeah.
went off.
I was just making sure the guard captain didn't leave.
No.
So it could just be the coincidence that it was that room's door that was so easily accessible, but I do think that points in the direction of, or more conclusively, the idea that there was foul play. We have no further clues at this time, just that it was entirely possible for someone to have broken into his room without access to a key.
He nods and thanks you for the information while kind of just slowly eating his oatmeal.
Thank you for your time. If you don't mind, I will help myself to some breakfast.
He nods.
I'm gonna stand up and go get me a bowl,
Okay.
a gruel.
Good. He finishes his meal and
I'm
then
gonna do the same.
kind
I'm
of
gonna
wanders off as you all
sit and feed Bobbert too.
get your food and then sit at a table. Sarkesh, what are you up to as you are done feeding horses?
Trying the horse feed.
Not really. All I did was fill their sacks and put them on their heads.
Good. So now what are you up to?
I'm gonna go check the cemetery, see if any graves were dug up while we were out for the night.
Okay. You head off towards the cemetery. And
Rare.
cemetery. You make it there and you see Zana digging up 3 plots in like out past even the poorest end of the cemetery.
I approach her. Or him, sorry.
Okay. He's
Zana,
he's
what-
busy digging, so
Zana, this is a little out of the way, isn't it?
well, most people don't like being buried next to witches. Dig. Dig.
Ah, this is where they're being buried.
Yep.
Wouldn't they normally just incinerate the bodies of a witch?
The witchery said something about salted ground, and I don't know. They have their own rituals. They paid me well, so here I am, digging.
I pull out the clay and ask, does this look familiar to you? Aside for it being the same ground that's in the cemetery, it contains salt.
And he looks at it, and it looks like clay to me. I mean, you can tell he's just not very, like, learned.
Thank you for your time and your information. I might be back later.
He nods and continues his digging.
I'm going to head to the castle to find Johann and inform him of what I just heard.
Okay. Johann, Vel, Perrin, you're all eating your delicious, it's actually pretty good, oatmeal, and it's got, like, blueberry in it, so it's a pretty good meal. And as you do, a kind of older, very well-dressed Shashir makes his way over and just sits down next to Johann. And, you're Johann Koenig, yes?
I am. And you are?
I'm Farrunner Elnarsi. Tell me, what is it that you,
That later.
I'll put it in the chat. Tell me, what is it that you and your group are doing? It's very odd that newcomers get quarters in the castle on their first day.
Cut. It's very odd, and then it all cut out.
That newcomers would get a room in the castle on their first day.
We're here under direct order of Lord Vasilis McKellic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Vasilis McKellic himself.
He waits for you to continue.
I'm afraid that's all I'm at liberty to share at the moment.
Oh, I see. Well, if you ever need anything around town or any information, please don't hesitate to come and call on me.
If I... And it froze again, so that's good.
Yep, super good.
Alright.
If you need any
So, sorry, what?
information, feel free to call on me.
And where might I find you?
You can either find me at the Runner's Embassy in town or at the hall in the castle here.
Well, so long as I have you here, what kind of information are you offering?
Whatever you need.
Alright, what rumors have you heard about town?
Oh, well. Let's see, there were the witches that were caught the other day. I hear they're to be buried in a unusual ritual this afternoon. It appears that the mages have found themselves in some sort of trouble. High Mage Duneker is... Well, he's been quite the tizzy recently and hasn't been showing up to court recently. I've heard that there was a bit of a break-in at the Silver Bank, though no real information's got out. You know, those dwarves are quite tight-lipped about such things. Let's see, what else was there? I believe there was something about an inn.
That's awfully vague.
I just can't remember.
What was the name of the other inn, the one that Sarkesh is staying at?
The Black Stag Tavern and
Black
inn.
Stag. Okay. Was it the Black Stag? I have a companion staying there.
No, I believe it was one of the other ones. Not, I don't think it was Arcturus's. I can't recall.
Well, if you hear anything further on any of that, I would be most interested.
Yes, of course.
Well, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. El Narcy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, El Narcy, and I put my hand out.
And yours, Sir Koenig. And shakes her hand.
I suppose I do have one further question.
Yes.
Aladarian military encampments or fortresses, would you know of any in the nearby area?
Well, there's the garrison just outside the castle. But if you mean any other ones, there's one close to Lake Scilla, and I believe there's one up by Cheshire, too. Unless you're heading east, in which case, I believe the closest one is outside of Steinem, or perhaps Bremen, if you're heading north.
We're actually headed west, so perhaps Cheshire, or perhaps I'll just stop by the garrison.
Yes. Well, if you have any information or need any information, please come see me.
Of course.
Or if you need passage for any of your goods, you can always count on the runners to get it there.
I'll remember that. Thank you kindly.
He nods and then gets up and kind of wanders away a little ways.
I don't know if I finished my breakfast. If not, I return to it.
Okay. You all finish your breakfast as Sarkesh kind of comes into the room looking for you all, and he sees you quickly. Makes his way over to your table.
I
Johan,
continue eating.
when you're finished, can you meet me with the, gotta scroll up, find the guy's name. With Judok. I have some information that might be pertinent.
Sure.
Thank you. I go to Judok's quarters.
Okay.
I suppose when I finish eating, I join him there, but I don't know how long that
You're
takes.
almost done eating, so you just take a last couple of bites, then follow him.
Yep.
You both go to Judic's quarters and knock on the door, and he lets you in. Johan, is there anything else we need to discuss?
Sarkesh here was saying there was something he wanted to discuss with you.
One moment, please. And then he turns and goes into a kind of an offshoot room. And after a few moments, a very well-dressed lady walks through, looks at you, and just kind of leaves. And then he comes back out. Yes, what did you wish to speak to me about?
Did we interrupt something?
Who was the
You
lady?
can come back if you'd like.
No, it's fine. What can I do for you?
I don't know if they have told you yet. We found Clay in the mage's quarters in the inn.
It's been brought to his attention twice, Sarkesh.
Okay. I'm just hearing of this, so
I was just hearing of it earlier. And
All
he
right.
was just hearing of it for the third time.
okay. I've learned some information though about the clay. I've noticed that it is containing a very high amount of salt. And the gravedigger himself said that the witchery uses salt and a lot of it to bury the witches.
That is interesting. Yes, that is the custom for witches.
But it would be unordinary for it to be almost anywhere in town. Especially the clay mixed with the salt.
Perhaps. Although, now that I think about it, grave clay just is naturally, well, not naturally, I suppose. Salt seeps from the body into the clay to make it a bit more salty around graves, I believe.
I just wanted to let you know that information just in case it was pertinent.
Well, thank you. I'll definitely look into it to see if there might be a correlation. If you have a sample you could leave with me, I might be able to run some tests.
I give him half of my sample.
Okay, he takes it, puts it in a small vial, and tucks it under his robes.
Okay, I'm going to go to the mess hall and eat. 'Cause I haven't eaten yet.
Okay.
And I'm going to be doing that for a little while. I'll be right back.
So, Johan, you guys leave Judic's study, unless there's anything else that you wish to talk to him about.
No, I just came because I was asked to come. I don't,
You leave and you head back, and you see Veltari and Perrin just kind of hanging out, eating.
I joined them back at the table.
Alright, everyone except for Hal goes to eat. Or continues to eat. And, Johan, you notice as you kind of like look about the room, that you can see Lady Maria in getting food, and the Sashir that was talking to you is still there, occasionally throwing glances over at your table, but making chatter with another group.
Okay. What's Lady Maria doing?
She's flanked by 6 other females in armor, and they're all eating and
Oh, okay,
discussing
so-
something.
All right. I await my companions to finish their breakfast.
Okay. Everyone who wants to be done is done.
Okay, done.
Bobbert is done. He has eaten twice his weight in blueberries. He is fat.
Little Robert sporting a little food baby.
Yeah.
Bobbert, probably going to be a little sick.
Bobbert turns blue and starts to roll around the table slowly because his legs can no longer stabilize him. He doesn't seem that... He seems quite nonplussed at the situation.
All right. What do you say we head back to the graveyard and continue our investigation?
Seems like a good place to start for the day.
Alright, you all head back to the graveyard. You finally meet Hale, who was being chased around by gardeners, trying to cast out the demon tree that keeps talking to them.
I was enjoying the sunlight.
Yeah.
After you scared the shit out of someone.
I didn't mean to. It's not my fault I woke.
Just, you're enjoying the sunlight on the run.
Seems legit. I'm going to follow those three. Thank heaven you guys have arrived.
Sarkesh feels
boy.
bad not to be included.
Well, I'm pretty sure he was eating, so.
Nice
Yeah,
following.
he finished.
Okay, I don't care about him.
Okay.
Okay. Good to know. I'll put that in my notes.
Mm-hmm.
For the records, he still reeks of rot, right?
It's pretty pungent, yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Yay.
Anyway, I would like to go to the graveyard unless something impedes us for some reason.
Alright, you'll make your way to the graveyard. What do you do?
Cool.
We're at
Do
the
we-
graveyard.
Do we still is Zena still digging the graves for the witches?
Yes.
All right. And it's just Zena. There aren't anyone from the witchery next to him.
Not that you could see, no. He's
Oh.
he's all alone, kind of out, and kind of a bit, like 200 feet away from the normal graves in kind of like a field or a clearing. He has now dug one very large hole and a slightly smaller hole next to it.
Okay. First things first. Approach Zena and kind of bow and say good afternoon.
Oh, hey, Perrin, how you doing?
Dick. Well, my friend, you seem rather busy this morning or afternoon.
Yep, they're gonna put down the witches that they caught.
You have only dug 2 holes? I thought there were 3.
Oh, well, I dug 3 holes and then I cut out the middle, and I'm gonna do that to the next one, and one big pit.
Seems odd. That doesn't strike you as unusual?
Well, burying witches is unusual. I don't think I've only done it once before. So no, not really. No more than the normal unusual.
I assume the graveyard was not molested last night.
Not that I could tell. Took a quick look and nothing's been dug up. Though I did have to fill in that hole we made.
Do you know when the ceremony for the witch burial is going to be held?
Sometime this afternoon. Whenever those witchery folk can get off their asses.
That one.
He continues to dig.
Do you have another shovel lying around?
There's a couple in my cabin.
If I help you dig this hole, can you take us to one of the other grave sites that was dug up so we can investigate that one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I go grab a shovel and I begin helping him break down the wall between the two graves he dug.
Digging intensifies. Yeah. After another half an hour, you guys finish that, and he leads you over. Alright, well, what one do you want me to dig up?
How about the one that's missing an arm?
Okay. An hour and a half go by, and,
Even with both of us?
oh, you're helping him?
Yeah.
Okay. An hour goes by, and, it's, an hour and a half goes by, and you're now, like, 9 feet down. Huh. Guess they wanted more than the arm.
Does that mean someone returned for it, or do you have the wrong grave?
No, I'm pretty sure this was the one. I made a mark on it and everything.
Baron, can you check for the mark?
Okay.
He describes
I'll
it to
look
you,
at
and
the
you look
mark.
at the marks down, and it's on there.
Look down in the hole. Looks to be the right one.
Is this another one of the graves without a gravestone, or I think it's just a marked grave
Mm-hmm.
in the poor section? Okay. Can you recall who was buried here?
I think it was a farmer. I don't remember his name though. Was it his
Human
wife?
farmer?
I think so. It was either the farmer or his wife. I can't remember. It was one of the two. They've been here a while. And I don't think they have any kids. So I don't remember. And then he kind of like
So
sticks
whoever
his
it was,
shovel up and pulls himself out of the grave.
So whoever it was an older person. I'm talking to him, I guess, as he climbs out, and I do the same.
Yeah, mid-30s, I think.
And the plot itself has been here for
3 or 4 years.
So when they took the arm, it was essentially just a skeleton.
I believe so.
Odd. Well, I'll help you fill this hole back in if you wouldn't mind leading us to another site.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a break.
Alright.
He goes to his cabin. And he leaves his cabin. Or do you guys wait for him, or you go on and do something else?
Well, it's going to turn the party. Any suggestions while we wait?
Well, clearly the grave's been disturbed again. I mean, if the whole body's missing as opposed to just an arm this time, maybe we should take a look around.
And see if we see a farmer's skeleton hanging around?
See if we can find any signs of who took it.
And the rest of you?
I think
I'll be right back.
start examining these headstones until the witchery folk come.
So you're gonna head to a richer area of the graveyard that has headstones, or are you just looking at the markers?
The markers, I guess.
Okay. Most of them are fairly nondescript. Occasionally, there's like a marking notched into them. Usually, it's just like an X, a square, a circle, some symbol to represent, so someone could find their way back to the one that relates to their family member. You presume.
But there's nothing that like sticks out like new marks or.
Roll investigation.
Down.
No, not even kinda.
Good. Good.
In this game, nobody passes anything.
I passed a thing once.
Yeah, that was good. Congratulations. Vel, what are you up to?
Looking around the grave that we just dug up to see if I can find anything unusual of note.
Alright. Roll perception.
Don't fall in.
Not gonna fall in.
That would have sucked, because that's a 9-foot fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look around, and it seems unusual that there's no body in a grave. That's
Okay,
pretty
Sarkash is back.
unusual. Nice, Sarkash. Perrin has gone to look at the grave markers, and none of them seem that interesting. Viltari has decided to look at this new grave that a body has been pulled out of at some point in time, but doesn't find anything unusual with it. Johan is, yeah, and Hale has turned into a tree again.
Okay. I'm gonna go and find where the Witchers are posting up. I'm gonna ask a guard real quick before I leave.
Well, there's their guild quarters down the road, but the lady tends to be near the castle.
All right, thank you. I'm gonna go to the lady first.
Okay. So you walk to the graveyard to walk back to the castle. Good. You make your way back to the castle, and you are quite quickly able to find Lady Maria Rocha with her contingent of witchers near her.
Lady Rocha. I don't think we've met before.
No. You're with, what was his name?
Johan?
Yeah, that one. You're with him, right?
Yes, I am.
What can I do for you?
I was just wanting to ask, why are you burying the dead witches? Why don't you just salt and burn them?
Oh, well, we plan to. But there's a custom in the north for disposing of the foul. It's a nice show. You should watch. It'll be in a couple hours.
Thank you. I guess I will.
She kind of nods. Is there anything else?
Yes. Are those runes on your armor?
You did not notice that.
I'm just asking because I see intricate markings.
Yeah, but you have no frame of reference for this.
A paladin.
Is your-
Paladins usually get runes.
Is your character skilled in Arcana?
I'm looking.
Okay.
Yes, actually he is.
Okay. Yes, they are runes of protection.
was wondering, is there anyone in town that can inscribe runes like that into my armor?
Yeah, if you've got the coin for it, I'm sure the High Mage could do it.
Do I now?
If you have the coin, the High Mage could do it.
How much coin would it usually cost? For at least a single rune?
I suppose you'd have to bring that up for him. My armor cost... Oh... What was it again, Elise? And she looks... 10,000 gold, my lady. Yes, 10,000 gold.
That's quite a bit of coin.
Well, when fighting the fiends, any bit of protection helps.
As does holy light.
Indeed.
Thank you for your time.
She nods.
I'm gonna go to the graveyard and wait for the show, apparently.
Okay. Anyone else doing anything differently? Johan and Hal, you haven't done anything, so what are you guys up to while all this is going on?
I suppose I'm just going to do a generic investigation of the grave that we were looking at.
What are you looking for?
Any signs of like a corpse being dragged away, or footprints leading to or from this particular grave, or anything
Alright.
that someone might have left behind?
Roll survival.
It's a weird one, but okay.
Well, that's what you do for, like, footprints and that kind of stuff. It's survival.
Got it.
You look around and there's just a decently large amount of foot traffic in general. So you don't pick out anything, and you don't see any new drag marks or anything like that on the ground.
Okay.
Hale, what are you up to?
I am also going to check with Johan to see if I can find anything of interest.
Okay.
Check with me, or do the same thing I'm doing?
Do the same thing that you're doing, sorry.
Alright, roll survival. A lot of foot traffic. Not entirely sure if there's anything else that you notice. Though there does seem to be kind of a lot more in this section than in the sections nearby, which you take note of, but you can't really ascertain anything more than that.
Okay. I don't know.
Alright. A couple of hours go by, and eventually you see the lady and a few of the other witchers carrying or leading a procession in which an undertaker is, carving basically the three bodies. They go to the ditch that Zena dug, put the bodies in, and then they begin this kind of low chant while two of the witchers begin sprinkling this very odd orange and purple salt into the grave, and then they dump the bodies on top and pour more salt on top of them. And then you see the lady pull out a great sword, and she leans the sword down and pours what appears to be liquid silver down the what is that called? Blood groove of the blade. And you can hear her audibly say, "By the fire be purged." And with a flick of flint, she alights the silver running down the blade and slams it into the grave. And a gigantic gout of flame erupt from the soil in beautiful colors like purples, reds, oranges, whites, blues, all just dance for a few seconds, and then she pulls the blade away and kind of cuts a swath into the fire, and it immediately just goes out. And everything around the pit for about 6 feet is just blackened. And she sheaths her blade, and then you can see the two sisters that were pouring in the salts take a knee and begin praying as the rest of them begin clearing up all of their belongings. Eventually everything is gathered up, and they begin to leave.
See, Perrin, I told you I'd show you a neat party trick.
Kind of holds his stomach a little bit. I've seen enough tricks.
As she walks by, she kind of nods to Sarkesh and Johan and the group, and then departs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one way to burn a
Okay.
Alright, so salt, then bodies, then salt, then fire, then pray, then leave.
That is Cliff Notes of what just happened, yes.
So they didn't pull anything out of the grave.
Not that you saw, no.
Okay. Where is Zana? Is he still
And the last you saw, he was in his cabin.
okay? I'm gonna go inspect the Ring of Death.
Alright. You head over, and as you kind of like look into the grave, all you can see are ashes. There are embers that are still burning, but the bodies... You did clearly see the bodies put in there, but there is nothing that you can see that remains of them. There appears to be naught but ash and some of that salt left behind.
Okay. I have no further use for this plot.
I'm gonna go to Zana's cabin and knock on the door.
Okay. You don't get a response.
I'm going to knock again a bit more insistently.
You still don't get a response.
Going to investigate around the cabin to see, like, in the windows or anything, if anybody is home.
Alright, roll perception.
One of those is good.
You look around, and it seems empty. Like, you don't hear anything from the inside, and when you look in, you don't see anyone, like, moving or anything.
Alright, I'm gonna go back to my companions and inform them that I was gonna go speak to Zana, and he does not seem to be at home, and the last I heard was that he was going to his cabin. If anybody wants to come help me find him.
Well, he was going to lead us to the plot in general, but also the one that had people dug up. So yeah, I'll help.
I have,
Alright.
I have a theory I want to test. I'm gonna go near the edge of the wood line and find a rock, a fairly large rock about the size of my fist. Pour the clay in my parchment on it and see if I can light it. See if that's the same salt.
Okay. You find a rock and you start putting the clay on it. And you try to light it, but it immediately puts out the flame.
Good. Not the same salt. Or, yeah. Alright, I'm going to sweep it back into the parchment.
Okay.
And rejoin the group. Feeling sad that my experiment failed.
Alright, so how are you guys going about finding Zana?
I think I'm gonna stay at the graveyard
Okay.
in case he shows up.
I'm gonna go
I'm
take
knocking on the door some more. Because I've already investigated.
Okay.
I
You
would
get
like
no response.
to. I'd like to check around his hut and see if I can find any alternative exits or footprints leading away from his house.
Alright, roll perception for me.
Okay.
You don't find any footprints, but you do find a window that you can open from the outside when you kind of like just tap on it, and it swings inward.
Okay. I go find Hale and beckon her over.
I'm going to go to Johan and find out what he wants. Did you find anything?
We can get into his cabin through this window.
Alright, so let's go in and check it out. I mean, last we knew he was in there, right?
How large is the window, Richard?
It's you guys would be able to squeeze through one at a time.
Okay. I'm just making sure. So, okay.
I could turn into a cat and go in. Then I'll be inconspicuous too.
You could do that.
You do that.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay, you have fun. You go first.
Okay.
I hold the
Okay.
window open for her as the witch transforms.
So you cast beast form.
Yes.
Okay. And you turn into a small black cat and hop into the window and then begin looking about the house. Go
And I
ahead.
follow after.
Okay. Both of you, go ahead and roll perception. Da-na-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na-na.
Meow.
Wow.
It's a
That's
house.
20 on one on the other.
That was impressive, honestly. This Roll20
Sons
fucking
of the
hates
spectrum.
you guys.
Yep.
And
I rolled a 20.
yeah, good. What are cats' perceptions at? It's a +3, so that gets you to a 5. Yay!
Yay!
Johan, both of you, as soon as you hop in, notice a very kind of foul scent. As you enter, Johan, you begin investigating that immediately. And as you open one of the doors, you appear to have entered what appears to be his bedroom. It's a small cot and a dresser, and laying in the cot with brazen just fear emanating from his eyes is Zana with this red orb taking up the entirety of his pupil. Like it's just hovering, touching his eye, essentially.
Is there anything else in the room?
There is a dresser and a cot.
Okay. Zana.
He doesn't move. He appears to be frozen. Doesn't even look like he's breathing.
Hale, get in here.
I go at Johan's call and look.
I want you to run outside, or unlock the door, and get Vel in here. Then I'm gonna go try and move that orb.
Alright, I go to the door, I shift out of beast form, unlock the door, open it up, and call out to Vel. And tell her to come here.
Okay. I head
wandering
over
back?
to see what's going on.
And I follow Vel back.
You follow her? Wouldn't she follow
Well,
you?
I mean, oh, yeah, she follows me back. Never mind, my bad. Back to where Johan is. That thing.
You all enter the very now tightly and densely packed room. And you see a body in front of you with a red orb hovering just above one of his eyes. And the look of ungodly fear etched upon his face.
Just a second. I'll look something up.
I'm gonna use Detect Magic. Now that I actually see the orb and see what's going on, I'm gonna use Detect Magic to see if I can figure out what the orb is, and if it's magical in nature, which I assume it is, and possibly where it may have came from.
Okay. You use Detect Magic, and you see a very... It's actually quite pronounced, distinct black and red aura around the sphere, which you're able to, just from this, deduce is a... It's essentially like a super solid. It's a liquid that's highly dense.
And that's all that I can tell from it.
Yeah. Detect Magic doesn't tell you anything about what it is. It just says it's
Okay.
there. Arcana,
Okay,
after that, will tell you.
well, in that case, I'm going to relay this to Vel and Johan, and then I'm going to use Arcana.
Alright. Roll it up.
And I'm gonna do the same.
I'm glad you're gonna do the same because I
Wow.
apparently suck today.
In before one.
Oh, that's
This is
okay.
amazing.
It's a shame I don't have Arcana.
Still did better than
Uh,
me.
Sarkesh is going to go over there after hearing all the commotion.
What commotion are you hearing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
what
There isn't
commotion?
any.
I heard her
Go
calling
away.
for Vel.
That's not a
Yeah?
commotion. It's hey
That ain't
Vel.
your
Anyways,
Fine.
Sarkesh
Vel's
walks
got
up,
charisma.
but the room's too small for you to really see anything. Besides the tree and the fiendkin seem to be busy with something in front of Johan.
Johan, what's going on?
We found Zana.
Is
That's the extent of it.
Hale, Vel, neither of you have seen any magic even remotely like this before. This
This
is
orb
very
is
odd.
magical in nature, but it's odd. I can't seem to pinpoint what kind it is. I can tell you that it's there and it's magical and it's liquid, solidish.
Mind if I take a look?
More power to
gonna
you.
do
Hale
something
steps
dumb.
out of the way.
What
yes,
did you
Vel?
say, Vel?
Are you gonna poke it with a stick?
No, I'm actually going to check it
Not
with
you.
Arcana.
Not you. I mean, you're welcome to, but I'm gonna do a dumb,
Okay.
and I'm gonna try to touch it.
Okay.
All right, cool. I didn't have like a plan before everyone rushed in.
Sarkesh, go ahead and roll Arcana while Vel touches it. Go ahead and roll it with... Oh, doesn't even matter. I was going to say roll with advantage. It actually kind of matters because a 20 is better than a 19. Vel, you touch it and go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw. Well done. You
Congratulations!
take 4 necrotic damage as you touch it, and the solid, or as you touch the liquid, it bends and snaps onto your hand like ink, and it starts running up your body. You look in a panic as this happens, but you're able to calm your nerves and you focus all of the magical essence in your blood and all around you and focus it to a point just at the tip of your finger and force the solid back down to its orb form. Your arm hurts pretty bad, but you acted very quickly and you feel proud of yourself for that. Sarkesh, you've heard of this magic before. This is a very old form of bewitchment. It's almost a form of possession. It's basically one of the more ancient forms of necromancy in that you take... basically what it's doing is it's siphoning the soul and life essence of who it's afflicted on and using that to reanimate the dead nearby.
Not good. I don't think I have enough holy magic to hurt this thing either. Not without chopping his head in half. It's a dark, old, ancient form of necromancy. It is slowly siphoning his life to reanimate some dead nearby.
Is there a way that we can tell where
How
it came
nearby?
I can't pinpoint it. I don't have that kind of skill.
Well, I didn't mean pinpoint. I meant, do you know its range?
Would I know that, Richard?
You did pretty well. So I'm gonna say you... Normally this kind of magic would be done within a matter of feet, essentially, but based on the reaction when Veltari touched it, it seems to be incredibly potent, so you wouldn't be surprised if the range is extended yards, maybe even further.
Also,
Looks
is the
like
orb still contained to Vel's finger, or did it
No,
come to a
it's
point
off
and then
of
just
the
drop
tip.
off?
She basically did push it all the way
Okay.
back out, and it's now just hovering over his eye again.
Okay.
Is there a
It-
way that we...
It looks as if it is powerful enough to go yards, maybe even further.
So we should patrol the area then.
If it's this powerful, it might reanimate more than one corpse.
So we should patrol the area then.
I would probably suggest starting that, yes, but I would like to know more about this if I can get someone here that can at least slow it or stop it.
If you run fast enough, you might be able to catch Lady Maria.
Sir, I weigh 300 pounds. You think I can run that fast?
I could probably run that fast.
Then go. You're fast.
That
You're a
sounds like
scout.
lot of...
Can I drop my stuff?
You like showing
and-
off?
Since when?
Can I drop my stuff and beast form to go catch up to Lady Maria?
Sure.
God, you are just the
Okay.
best.
Then that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drop my stuff. I'm gonna beast form. I'm gonna go catch up to Lady Maria. When I catch up to her, I'm going to.
Oh
unbeast-
my god! What the... Hand, sword
Sorry,
out.
ma'am. I'm a druid. Please do not fear. we've found something very pertinent that we could use your help with. It's magical in nature, and it seems necrotic. It could deal with the missing bodies. Would you
How would
please
you know
follow
that?
me back to the cabin? Because he told us. That's how I would know.
She looks at you warily and then kind of like looks to the other sisters, and with a shake of her head, they all begin following you back at a fairly quick pace.
Alright, I lead the way back to the cabin.
Okay. Anything else anyone's doing while this is happening?
Can we tell if he's still alive?
If it's siphoning his life, I would imagine so.
You can go ahead and roll medicine or nature to try and see what's going on with his physical body. Perrin, you also just see like a fucking panther, essentially, or like a wolf, bust out of the cabin, run away, and yeah.
Cool. Does
Ah,
it seem
I see that he
suspicious
is
to me at
very
all, or-
still.
'cause nobody's told me anything. I'm just walking around.
It's entirely up to your call. I'm just telling you what happened.
Vel's gonna wiggle out of the cabin and make her way out.
Yeah, I'm looking around the cabin for just anyone wandering around.
Go with yes. That was suspicious to me.
Okay.
I'll make note of it.
Johan, what were you doing?
I'm looking for anyone who might be wandering around because yards is not terribly long distance.
Yeah, as you exit, you don't see anything out of the ordinary outside. You can now see Hale bringing the sisters towards you. Vel has left the cabin as well. Perrin's looking kind of initially distressed, and then he saw it turn into a tree, and he thinks, oh, okay, that makes sense. And the tree begins to bring people towards the cabin. The sisters do finally show up, and she just kind of quickly glances, or Lady Maria just kind of quickly glances at Johan before entering and heading towards Sarkesh and the room.
I explained everything to her that is happening, just as I told it to them. That way she knows exactly what this is, and I'm not powerful enough to deal with it.
She nods and then turns to one of the other sisters and... Kate, do you have anything that you could use to contain this? And you can see that she's kind of flustered and going over things in her head very quickly. She walks up and puts her hands around it and begins chanting a small prayer. And you can see like holy light emanating from her fingertips as she tries to do this. And she gets it. So it basically like a dodecahedron just kind of closes in around the sphere. And as soon as it finally connects on all points, it shatters and the sphere becomes blade-like and zips towards her, but she dodges out of the way just in time. A small trickle of blood coming from her leather armor where it did nick her. And then the sphere, as fast as it leaves, jumps back to right above his eye. And she just turns to the lady and shakes her head. We'll send for the High Mage, but I don't know of any way to contain this.
Is there any way to heal him to where he will not die from this until the mage gets here? As long as he lives, this thing is contained.
Well then, I suppose do all you can to keep him alive.
Pour as much of my lay on hands into him as I can.
Alright,
Be five.
he'll take all of it.
And at that, I am going to go look for Perrin
Okay.
and bring him back because the cleric is needed.
I'm going to wander out of the room because I'm clearly not needed here.
As the two of you begin entering and Johan leaves, one of the sisters of the witchery, leave the cabin and begin running towards town, assumably to go and find help.
Okay.
Perrin, you're brought in and appraised of the situation.
Mm. Fun stuff. The GM says to everyone.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
yes,
do,
I do.
but we've already got a cleric in there, and we've already got.
As God is
suppression.
like, you have cure wounds, you know.
But
No,
there's not a whole lot
I
of
want to turn
remedy
into a
either.
panther and scare people.
Yes.
Or, just turn into a tree again after being watered.
It's
Scare
good.
the gardeners again.
It's good.
Or
Pretty
you
sure
walk
there's going to be
around
an
with
angry
Satan
mom by
spawn.
the end of this.
Okay, Sarkesh has done what he can, so he's going to step outside. Open the room up a little bit.
Okay. Perrin, what do you do?
I guess I'll ask the people that are still in the room. Has anyone actually touched Zena? Physically.
You just kind of watch
I
me
didn't touch
using
him,
my
but I
hands.
touched the thing.
Yeah, Sarkesh has left, and Vel's like, I touched the orb, but no one else has touched him.
Okay. Alright. I guess clutching my symbol, we'll go ahead and do Cure Wounds.
Okay.
Which is a physical touch thing, so that's why I was asking.
Mm-hmm.
Will him for that.
Alright. You... Holy divine energy radiates from your hand, and you can feel the very cold skin warm as you lay your hand upon his arm, and as soon as the divine energy finishes healing him, immediately he's cold again.
Hmm.
Who's outside right now?
Yo,
I'm outside the room, but I'm not outside the house.
Yeah, outside the cabin.
house.
Just Johan?
I'm sitting
I'm
by the
outside as
door,
well.
so I'm close to him.
I
Okay.
mean, if anybody needs my cure wounds, let me know. But until then, I'm outside as well.
Perrin, is there anything else that you want to try or do?
One second. Where is the description for that? Da, 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 da.
Oh, while he's looking for that, Johan and Hale, go ahead and roll perception, because you're the only two that I know are outside.
Wow.
Look at those 20s that don't count.
I know, right? Thanks, Roll20. I love you too. Oh wait, I got an 18.
Yeah, you did good still.
Just the 22 would have been better.
Pretty much. 20s are always nice.
Is there anything that I noticed?
I'm waiting in for Perrin. I just wanted you guys to do this.
Ah, okay.
So I figured it was something we could do while he's waiting.
I'm not sure that I want to do that. I think it might be a bad idea, but hey, let's do it anyway.
Yeah, bad
I
idea.
am going to go ahead and take my vial of holy water, or yeah, holy oil,
Okay.
and I'll pour a drop out on the orb.
Alright. So, you drop holy oil onto the orb, and as soon as it touches, you can hear a sizzling pop and like little tiny sparks begin to kind of fly up off of it as it has a very volatile reaction. Do you continue pouring more or just One drop.
I just wanted the one drop. See what it do.
Okay. It sizzles and burns, and you can actually see for a split second Zena go, and then the orb kind of retains its form, and he again goes catatonic.
Hmm. Interesting.
At the exact same second, and unbeknownst to the rest of you, except for Hale, Hale, you're just kind of sitting around, feeling a bit dejected that everyone in town is so scared of you all the time. Life's hard being a tree. You kind of understand how Vel must feel whenever she walks anywhere and people just immediately assume she's a demon. And, you're walking around the back of the cabin, and you notice that there's kind of like a decent amount of like flowers around, and it makes you feel kind of nice. And then you notice this one kind of white flower. And it snaps you, like you pass it by and you're just like, huh, weird. And then you think about it for a second, you look back and you see it reach down and begin to pull the rest of the skeleton out of the ground in front of you. And that's where we're gonna end tonight.
Oh, that's nice.
Skeletons coming up.
So everyone prepare for combat
So, wait,
next
A
time.
flower was pulling a skeleton out?
No,
ground.
you saw a bunch of flowers, and then you saw something white, and your brain naturally assumed, oh, that's a flower.
Got it.
And then you were like, wait, that didn't look right. You turn around, and it's a hand that's pulling a skeleton out of the ground.
That's nice. This is gonna be fun.
It's gonna be great.
Yay. Okay.
So
Yeah,
hey
yeah,
guys, you actually made it through an entire session without getting into combat. Yeah.
It's because it took us so long because of our shitty rolls with
Why?
investigation and everything.
That was amazing.
We didn't get into combat,
Fucking
but
roll.
someone did get hurt.
Yeah, poor Val.
Well, I mean,
And it
totally
was
take
she
necrotic.
doesn't know what it is, and she's worried. It's like, well, he's obviously not doing well. Let's see if I can move the thing. Oh,
Mhm.
no, that's bad.
You should have poked it with a stick. You might have been better off.
You might have, but you might not have.
Because you could have
You
dropped
never
the stick.
know. So yeah, that is 250 XPs for everyone. Yay! And Hale and Sarkesh, I'm gonna give you guys inspirations.
What does that do?